Here we are. We're back. We're back. Another Monday night, and it's two dudes and some feces, ladies and gentlemen. The date today is Monday, April the 5th, 2021 at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. This is episode 106 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. And tonight, we're watching the 1986 horror film April Fool's Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! April Fool's Day, 1986. Did I say 96? I meant 86 if I said 96. Tony, good to see you here. Do you have a recollection of the very first time you saw this movie? Oh, wait. Tony, you might want to unmute your microphone. There you go.
There I go. Yeah, I forgot I had muted it because we were going live and I was doing something and I didn't want them to hear.
That's all right.
The first time, I forgot who recommended it to me now. This is way back in the day. It might have been the guy at the video shop that me and my brother we used to walk up to and rent movies that was on the borderline of Connecticut and Massachusetts. And he knew I was a big Amy Steele fan from Friday the 13th Part 2. And he's like, oh, I got a movie for you, and that was it. And I was like, he's right. He did have a movie for me.
And how old were you at this time?
Probably at the time, this is probably 91, 92. So we're about 13, close to 13, 12, 13-ish.
Well, I was a little late to the party on this one. This was, myself and my two buddies, Evan and Brian, myself and Evan were crashing over at Brian's place. And we walk, so we're probably like 16, 17, like we're kind of in the prime of, the teenage years at this point, right? And we walked over to the local, it was a video store, but it was just like a mom and pop shop. Yeah. And we got some bags of chips. I think we got some Grape Crush or whatever. And I think it was Grape Crush. Anyway, we rented The Exorcist. And we rented April Fool's Day. And April Fool's Day was the first time I had seen it. So this would have been like 90. Well, I mean, I was 16 and 95.
16, it would be 95.
But I think I was a little older. No, I think this was like 96, 97, somewhere around there. And so a little late to the party on it. But I remember watching it, and I've watched it, of course, several times since. But it's just a fun movie.
Fun B-horror film.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Exactly. And it was good. I enjoyed it. And they've talked a lot about doing a remake of this, but it's kind of hard because you sort of know the ending of the movie. It's the kind of thing where, unless
you'd have to come up with something original. Something else.
That's right.
And I forget the ending in this movie, even though I just saw it like 2 years ago. God damn, what is well, we'll
you
get
forget
to
what happens or you forget the details of what happens?
I forget the details of the ending. I remember it. But we'll watch it.
So you remember, you just forget okay.
I'm just really remembering Amy Steele in her blue underwear scene as she's getting dressed.
Well,
that's my favorite scene in the movie. And I really like to thank the director for just having that scene filmed.
Or the writer for writing it in. I mean, either...
I'm not sure if the writer wrote that in. I think that was a director's call. Amy, you know what we need, Amy? We need you to get out of bed. We're not asking you to be nude, but hey.
We need some more.
We need some underwear action.
There you go. That's what it is. That's what it is, folks. So,
but it's not one that I watch a lot, but it is good, it's underrated because it is a good, fun horror film. And I'm glad we're starting it. And believe me, folks, we're going to tap into more of these because, look, we love talking Michael. We love talking Freddy, Jason, and whatnot. But there is just a plethora of horror films out there that we have yet to even scratch the surface on. And it's cool to like get into some other films. And, and if you guys ever have suggestions, always feel free to either message Dave or myself and we can check them out and add them into the rotation.
Yeah. There's sometimes people will ask about movies, recommend movies, and it's always tricky because we have a schedule.
Sure.
And sometimes most of the movies that people ask about, the intention is there, but it's not like we don't know what we're doing next week, or we don't know what we're doing. Like we usually have a good idea. Well, we usually have these things planned out. I mean, really planned out a month in advance.
Yeah.
And then we have those ideas several months. So it's you may say, hey, you know, what about this? We're like, yeah, but we may not get to it for 6 months. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's not like a DJ thing where it's like, hey, can you do this movie? And the next week we're doing it. You know what I mean?
Coming up on the top 10.
That's right. And then like the very next week we're actually doing it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I think the Terminator was like, you know, I think you guys should do the Terminator. It took us like a year to get to that one. So
yeah, it took a year to get to that one. And then, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, suggesting like, you know, The Fog and Bloody Valentine. And I mean, believe me, we'll get to them. You know, there's, like I said, there's a long list of movies that we have yet to tackle, and it's good that we're tackling them, because there's only so much we can do with, you know, Michael and the core four there. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
shit.
I love
get worn out after talking about
it's true.
it.
And I love people's passion. I really do. I don't think there's anything. It's great, but you know, you can only talk about the same shit, you know, so often, and there's you know, the well does run dry, and it's important. I think it's important for people to expand their horror knowledge as well. There's more to horror than Michael Myers.
Really, there really,
you know what I mean?
Really is.
And Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees. There's a whole, and there's different. I mean, there's horror films that you've probably never even heard of or seen that, you know. And if you are a horror fan, then, you know, it's, and again, I'm not questioning people's fandom in that sense. I just mean that if you do consider yourself a horror fan, you know, you should be at least open to the idea of watching many different types of horror movies, and from many different eras. That doesn't mean you're going to like it all, but it's you know, if all you do is watch, you know, now all I do is watch like 78 to 84, and it's like, well, you know, you're really limiting yourself, you know, and like I love it. I do. You know, I love that fans are so passionate about what they love. But it's too bad in some ways that there isn't more of that interest there. You know, and cause like Tony and I could do a Halloween show
every day of the week.
But if like right now we have 75 people watching, it's not bad. Pretty good.
For this movie, it's better than what I thought.
For sure. If you and I decided to watch the original Halloween tonight,
200,
a movie we've watched many times. Okay, well, not many times. We've watched, I think, twice on the show. A movie that you and I both on our own and together have discussed ad nauseum. There's very little that you and I could say that nobody in the chat room would have not known or known our opinions on. At this very moment right now, we'd have 275 people watching, and it's like, why are they watching? What new information? And it has nothing to do with new information, has nothing to do with any new insights, has nothing to do with that. It's all about just watching Halloween and living vicariously through another, you know, and you know, there's something to be said about fans that just, but that's also an example of why and again, it's a small kind of example of why Hollywood makes the same shit, because they know you're going to be there. Yeah. And if Tony and I were a studio right now, we are the Two Dudes Studio. Okay. Well, we're going to release April Fools. Gets 80 people. Well, so let's go back to the well. Let's release another Halloween, 200. And that's why they keep doing it. They keep doing it because you keep seeing it, because you keep tuning in, because you're there. You know, and that's why they keep doing it. And it's not that there isn't anything original coming out of Hollywood. There's a ton of original stuff coming out of Hollywood, just you don't bother to see it because you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to, you know, you gotta, you know, leave what you're comfortable with, what you know, what you like, what you already know, because there's an expectation there. You know, you love that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. And you gotta open your mind and your you know, your brain and yourself to new ideas and new characters and new stories that you may not be familiar with, with, or that maybe challenge you to think as a person, or, you know, that maybe you're not so cookie cutter, and that, you know, and sometimes that can be very difficult for people to do. Not, certainly not, April Fool's is not, you know, that kind of movie. I'm just talking about in the bigger picture in terms of, you know, Hollywood. It can be tricky to get people on board with new ideas and new stories. Can be very tricky. It's not that they're not there. Hollywood doesn't make anything original. No, they do. They make more original content every year than they do the same content. It's just that it's the original content that doesn't make the money. You know,
well, that's
or
why
the money
I got to give you credit, man.
Need.
You went deep the other day with Foster's. When I saw that, I was like, oh, he's going real deep.
I did.
He went real deep into the archive for that one.
That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut. If you're a horror fan and you know Foster's, like, yeah, you're a fan.
That's a deep cut. I had only found out about it about 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I got to talk about this because I think it's cool to talk. Like, listen, I'm always going to talk Michael Myers. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to talk Michael Myers or to stop asking Halloween questions. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think it's important, and I include myself in this as well. And I know Tony does too. It's important. It's important we all go, hey, that's cool, but, you know, let's look at this, let's look at that, let's look at this, let's look at that, right? You know, and because. Yeah, it's important we do it. It's important we do it. If there's interest, if you're genuinely not interested in it, that's okay too. And that doesn't mean you're not a horror fan. No, not at all. It's just like, I'm not interested in the expanded universe and all the books and the comics and the games of Star Wars. It doesn't make me not a Star Wars fan. It just makes me a different kind of Star Wars fan.
Dave, you're not a real fan.
You're not a Star Wars fan, Dave. No. Sorry, Dave. You're not a Star Wars fan. It's just not the way it is. Melania, can you please take out the books? Get rid of them, please.
Speaking of expanding, you know what I'm going to be watching here for the first time? And a lot of people tell me about it, that it's really good. Eyes Without a Face. That's on
Eyes
my
Without a Face
next,
is great. French horror film, yeah.
French horror film. A lot of people have been recommending it to me. And when I subscribed to HBO Max, that was on their list of films. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have to buy it. I'm going to watch it before. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to buy it because I couldn't rent it. My only option was to buy it. And like, if I don't, but everyone's like telling me like, dude, no, you are really going to like this film. Because it came out like around Psycho, right? Like early 60s-ish, give or take.
Hey, Google. What year did Eyes Without a Face come out? I thought it was late 50s.
Come on, Google.
Hey, Google, can you raise the volume, please? Thank you. Hey, Google, what year did Eyes Without a Face come out? No, not 83. Not 83. There must have been a remake or something. Yeah, it was probably late 50s.
Chat room will let me know.
Yeah, chat room will let us know. Eyes Without a Face. 60. You're right, 1960.
So just a year before Psycho, because Psycho is what, 61?
No, same year.
Same year. Same year.
Psycho. But yeah, I mean, there's great stuff out there. There's great stuff out there, but it is. I think what I find interesting is that, you know, I find it very interesting from a sociological perspective. It's very easy to predict human behavior. And it makes me realize how, you know, and again, I don't want to get off on a tangent on this, so I'll keep it short. But, you know, with everything going on in the world and the crazy world we live in, and you know, even before all this, like you go back decades, just the human experience, how easy it is to manipulate and fool people. The general public. It's very easy to do. Because once you understand people's social habits, social patterns, you can, I mean, it's really easy to do, you know? So it's just interesting, you know, it's interesting. Like, as I said, we could have the original Halloween on tonight, a movie everybody's seen 5 billion times. We've seen 5 billion times, and 400 people would tune in. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, April Fool's Day. Here we go. 1986. Amy Steele. Biff from Back to the Future.
Genie with a G.
Ginny, you mean?
Yeah. Don't say Jenny, right? Because if I say Jenny, I'll get course corrected.
Right. Ginny with a G. Ginny with a
G.
That's right.
Not Jenny when I over enunciate it and get slapped on the hand. Tony, you're saying it wrong.
So we are paused 3 seconds into the movie. The Paramount logo is on the screen with the stars around the mountain, but that's it. The Paramount word has not come up on the screen yet. Yes, if it does at all. But anyway, so that's where we are. Here we go, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, Paramount, a Gulf Western company. This is the beginning. Just waiting for the music to pop in. Paramount Pictures presents Hometown Films production. There we go. Go, he says. Okay. There we go. Hi. Isn't that Muffy? Is that Muffy? Can't remember. Can't remember if that's Muffy. I remember when I first watched this when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, when I first saw it.
She's also in Friday the 13th as well, too.
She is. Is this the Muffy chick?
Yeah.
Okay, then I thought she was, when we were watching this when I was a teenager, I thought she was really cute.
If I'm not mistaken, she's in part 7, I want to say.
Part 7, is it really? That would make sense because 86
the short hair?
April Fools. Yeah, it might be her. I can't remember part 7.
God,
I can remember
face looks like her.
Does a little bit. Isn't there a scene in April Fools where she's having sex with the guy and they open the door and she's like already like having sex and then they're like, it's got to be in this movie, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I
April
fuck on
Fools.
the first date.
What's that?
She said, and I fuck on the first date.
Yeah, I know.
So 1980s.
What a thing to say. Oh, there she is. There's
my girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. There's Biff Tannen. I got to tell you, that looks like Vancouver.
Yeah, that is Biff.
It is Biff. It's Biff Tannen. Hi, Marty. Hi, Marty. I'm Bev.
No, maybe it's not that girl because that girl passed away. Or no, she's alive. That's right. Forgot. That we thought she passed away, but it turned out she's actually alive in real life. For real.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong. That's not the girl.
It's not the girl? Oh, you're thinking right? No, I don't.
Because I'm looking at the cast right now. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not her. But I could have sworn that blonde girl who says I like to fuck on the first date in the opening is in Friday the 13th.
Wait a minute.
Because her face looks so familiar.
Right. Yes, that is Muffy. Muffy and Buffy. There's like 2 people? Wait.
Yeah, that's the reveal at the end.
Oh, right. But it's the same actress playing both characters.
Yes. Evil Alex, a date with
Oh, it's
Amy.
not. That's Nikki. Nikki was the one I think we just opened with. That wasn't really. So yeah, I guess I had a thing for Muffy and Buffy. That's so weird. I don't remember.
So that was Nikki. Yeah, that was Nikki.
That was Nikki.
And she was not in any of the Friday the 13th. So I was wrong.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, I had a.
God, she looked like one of the Friday the 13th, but I mean, she's blonde. I mean, it's the 80s.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But Evil Dead, which date with either Amy Steele or Nev Campbell? I'm going to go with the trifecta and make it a threesome and do them both.
But you can't.
In my world, I can.
Allowed.
In my world, I can.
Tony is the emperor. Good.
If I had to pick one, probably.
You'd pick Nev. Come on.
I probably would pick Nev. That's hard to pass up, man. It's Nev. It's hard to pass up Amy, but like Nev, it's Nev.
Yeah.
That's a good old Canadian girl. Canada did good when she was made.
They did.
Canada took the day off after she was born.
She was made in a test tube, and she was synthetically created with all the great genes all over the country. And
that's right.
Thomas Wilson. That's right. That's Biff Tannen.
Biff.
Thomas Wilson.
Why am I thinking?
I'm remember. It's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now.
Well, Celine. But that blonde chick, someone's going to help me out, or someone's going to leave it in the comment section after they watch this video. I'm thinking of someone from Friday the 13th, that blonde chick at the beginning who says I like to fuck on the first date. She looks like someone, and I can't think of who she looks like from the.
This blonde chick, Deborah Goodrich, hasn't acted since, according to IMDb, since 1992.
Really?
That's strange. Yeah, she was on an episode of Beverly Hills 90210.
Maybe that's where I'm thinking of her from.
She's just credited to one episode, though.
She plays in the Green Room, right? The episode called Green Room.
No, it says the party fish. Sandy,
it's the Green Room. Okay, Sandy, she plays an alcoholic girl who goes surfing. And that's maybe where I'm thinking of her from. And she drowns, and Brandon saves her from drowning and all that stuff. In fact, that was the first episode Luke Perry was introduced to the show.
Okay.
So I think that may be where I might be thinking of her and where I saw her face.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah. That
that's right. I forgot they go on the little. It's like out.
Look at these cars.
God.
Why do the okay, but it's 86. What is this supposed to be, like 76? Those cars look about it. Well, that's true. I mean, they could.
70s would have only been about like.
I was just going to say
10 years. Yeah.
I was just going to say people were still driving cars from that decade. So it's crazy to think that when we were kids, that's what cars looked like. It's weird.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dudes were wearing at this point the blazers with it cuffed up.
Yeah. So this must have been the movie he did after Back to the Future. Because Back to the Future was 85. This is 86.
He was in between 1 and 2 at this point.
That's right. Yeah, because 2 wasn't until 89. Well, they shot 2 and 3 back to back. So yeah, he had just gone from Back to the Future.
He's actually a really funny dude in real life. Tom Wilson.
Guy. Yeah,
because that's what he does. He's a stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah, he's funny.
Like, and he's not like corny funny like Biff. Like, he's legitimately funny.
Yep.
Wow, I just realized that I'm saving a video, and I'm like, I looked down, I saw 8,926. I'm like, there's not 8,926 people watching us. Like,
there are right now.
Like,
there's 10,000 people watching
here.
There's 10,000. No, the most I've ever had for a live stream was 500 something.
I got close with you on one. We got like 450 on one.
Something like that. Yeah. It was obviously it was Halloween related. What a shock.
Oh, I'm sure if you do a live thing when Kills trailer drop, you should have a good audience for
probably
that.
More than that. Yeah, when the Kills trailer drops, if I went live the day the Kills trailer dropped, oh yeah. That's my imitation of crazy Halloween fans. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. This guy. The preppy guy.
Yeah, you pretty much have every stereotype character in this film. Pretty much.
Yes, you do. See, it's so strange. Like looking at, although I am more partial to brunettes than blondes, so maybe that's why. But it's funny, if you just asked me, I guess I had a thing for, like, not a thing. I just remember, like, you know how, like, you know, with your buddies, right? And you're watching a movie and, you know, you choose like a girl, you know what I mean, right? And so when we were watching this, I was like, I remember my buddies teasing me about Muffy, because I guess I was like, oh, she's kind of cute or whatever. But if you had asked me years later which one was Muffy, I would have said Nikki. That's what's funny about it, and because I'm like, oh, and then when I look at Muffy, I'm like, oh yeah, she's really cute too. But it's funny how I'm like, oh, I don't. That's really I thought she was Muffy. It's weird. Whatever though. This is after Friday the 13th for Amy Steele. You know what?
This is right around at that point when she turned down to do part 3 to go on and do other stuff. And of course, now in hindsight, she kind of regrets that. And she has said that, you know, like she wishes she had stayed with the franchise. And she did.
3 was 82. So this was 4 years later, but you're right.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like she decided to leave the franchise and go do like stuff like this and other movies. And it didn't really pan out. And it just makes you wonder, had she just stuck with it, where that franchise would have gone. It would have gone a totally fucking different direction, because she would have become probably the Laurie Strode of the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
that's
think
the way
you're
they
right.
were grooming her for, and she didn't want to do it. So
You know, it's funny. I mean, Friday the 13th again was a different. It was a different. You know, they were more cheesy. They're not good movies. I mean, the Friday the 13th films are not good films. They're just B movie fun, gory slasher. You know, it's very. You know what I mean? But I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what kind of series Friday the 13th would have been
if she had stayed.
Yeah, if they had allowed the series to have a level of consistency in terms of something that the audience, some character, because Jason was really the star, right?
Sure.
And he was the one that, not that Michael's not the star either, but some sort of protagonist that the audience can get attached to from film to film.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see sort of maybe where that would have gone. And I think Ginny was probably the right person to do it.
They wanted her. I mean, they really tried to get her back for 3, and hey, look, I get it. You're a young actress at the time, and you know, you want to try something else, and you know, just unfortunately it didn't take for her. And yeah, I mean, I wonder if they would have introduced the hockey mask, you know what I mean? Like at some point, would that have been, they may never have done that. You know what I mean? Because for her, Jason's the dude in the sack. That's how that's right. All she knows.
That's it.
You know what I mean? If
Jason is the dude in the sack. Oh, right at the same time we say that. That's funny. You'd think the show was scripted. Holy shit.
Who's the dude throwing the knife?
That's a switchblade too. Aren't those illegal?
I think they are now.
Depending on some states or whatever, yeah. Which makes no sense to me. Why is a switchblade... Why? I don't understand. I don't know. Why is a switchblade illegal? I don't understand. I don't get it. But then again, why the hell was pot illegal for so many years? I don't know. I mean, if you dive into the history, you know why. But I'm just saying. It's legal up here in Canada, marijuana. I don't smoke it, but for
I was going to say, yeah, it's legal up there.
Yep. Well, just in the last couple of years, though. And it's right across the country. Like every province, you can actually, and you can buy it, too. You can buy it from certain stores. And that's great for people who smoke it. It makes no difference to me, but... Now, I don't think he's really dead, though, right, this guy? Like, everything's
No,
a
it's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Everything. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jason comes out of the water. Ginny wakes up. She's been dreaming the whole time. He's the Shelley guy of the... Look at this. Yeah, I'm fucking right. Yeah. Tom Wilson is flexing his muscles. Come on up.
Hey, we got 100. Wow. That's way more than I thought we'd get for April Fools.
April Fools, same. It's crazy to think that when I watched this movie, it was like only 10 years old when I first watched this movie. And when you watched this movie, it was only like 5 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much time has gone by. It just keeps going by. It just doesn't stop. Sad.
No.
Sad. Look at all these people. Everybody's old and ugly now. No.
No, I mean, dude, my nieces and nephews are teenagers now, man. Like
wow. Yeah, I saw your posts on Instagram.
Bonkers,
I thought that was cute.
I'm like looking at like Kyle. I'm like, dude, you're 16. What the hell? Like, no, no, bro. Like, what the hell?
I thought the posts you made were cute about watching Jaws 3 and 4.
God, that was so painful, man. They put me through that yesterday, but I don't get it. Like, I just sat there and looked at him like Jaws 3 and Jaws 4. Really, dudes? Like, this is what you guys want to watch? Like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
it.
Yep, this is what we want to watch. All right.
That's what we want to do.
Whatever. What the fuck?
This is it. Where are we here?
But my niece, man, yeah, she's hardcore. Like I said in my post last night on Instagram stories, she's a hardcore Alien franchise. Like how we are for Halloween. Oh yeah, Aliens. That's her thing. Like big time.
Gotcha.
We'll have to get into that at some point. We haven't done any of those movies.
This is according to IMDb. This is interesting. Apparently the Swedish version released on video in 1987 omits all violent scenes to a point of absurdly making characters disappear from the story with no logical explanation. Well, now that's not... that may be true, but it's written like an editorial. It's written like an opinion.
There's a Swedish version of this that's more gruesome.
I don't know. From IMDb, it says here under trivia, the Swedish version released, and I'm not saying there isn't one. There probably is. The Swedish version released on video in 1987 omits all violent scenes to a point of absurdity, making characters disappear from the story with no logical explanation. Now, maybe that's true, but the way it's written very like it's written like it's somebody's opinion. You know, maybe I were to watch it and I'd think, you know what? I think there is a logical explanation. It's funny how sometimes people, when they write trivia, it sounds very subjective. I'm not saying that's not true, what's written there, but there's a way to write trivia and information that doesn't sound very editorial, like you're giving an opinion. And people don't tend to do that. I'm not saying he or she, whoever wrote that, is wrong, but it does come across as somebody's opinion with no logical explanation. Well, that sounds like you're a critic critiquing it. Maybe that's true, but maybe I'll watch it and think you're wrong. You know, trivia should be objective. Interesting. They're going over to the island. The island. You know what movie we should watch too? Oh, we should watch some old great. We should fucking watch like Sunset Boulevard or
Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? Brando.
The Waterfront.
Get some Betty Davis and Joan Crawford in there. Fuck, man.
Where was this filmed? I think this was filmed up in your neck of the woods. It looks like Canada.
Yeah, I said that earlier. It sort of looked like the backdrop of Vancouver a bit, but the way I was looking at it, the mountains actually don't look, they didn't look high enough, the hills. Maybe it's northern Washington, but it looks, either there or up my way. It could be Vancouver. Actually, let me see if it says here on IMDb. It could very well be Vancouver. Wouldn't surprise me. It says USA and Canada. So, yeah. Yeah, it's probably somewhere around there. Filming locations. Here we go. Yep. Okay. Oh, Victoria. That's why. Victoria, okay. BC. Yeah. So not Vancouver. Vancouver, the hills would have been quite large, but Victoria, BC, which is sort of off. It's like an island over. I think. Yeah, Victoria Island. I think. Yeah, that explains it. Victoria, British Columbia. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they actually give an address. That's funny.
Hot dogs and beans. So this is your girl, huh? Buffy?
I guess. Yeah, I guess I was, but I got...
You were digging the buff muff? She's cute.
I guess so. Well, she is. She absolutely is. But looking at Nikki, I'm like... I think Nikki's really cute too. I don't know. Maybe there was, I don't know. But Muffy is cute. Yeah, Muffy's cute. Look at that 80s microwave.
I know.
80s decor. Would be great to go. Can you imagine what decade, if time travel was real and you could go back in time, knowing you could come back to the future without any issues?
Yeah, well, no, knowing what I know now, I'd stay.
That's true. That's true. But what decade, and you could only go back for one day.
Oh, one day. This almost sounds like the conversation we had over the weekend, what you were saying.
What decade would you go back to?
Or
what time in your life?
The 80s, hands down. Wouldn't even... Yeah. Second guess it. We were actually similar conversation we were having. We said like, okay, if heaven is, you can make whatever heaven to be like for you, right? God tells you can get you design your heaven. You pick how you want, but you got to do it within the lifespan that you know. Okay, so like you can't go back beyond like past the 70s. Okay,
right.
What would you do? And I said I would design everything from like 1985. Oh, and you get to be the tip top peak of yourself.
Right.
Like you don't age or anything like that. So like you're 21 and you're permanently 21 forever.
Yeah.
Okay. I I would pick 1985 to 1989. That would be my wheelhouse. And you get everything of that, whatever comes out in that decade, you get the technology, you get everything that happens. You just don't get anything past that. So I'm like, I can live without the Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, Resurrection. Yep. I can live without all that. I'm good. Like, 85 to 89. Just repeat 80s, it forever. I'm good.
Yep. I would pick the 80s definitely as well. I mean, that's such a
fun decade.
Oh yeah.
It really was so much fun. If you lived it as a teenager, I envy you, because Dave and I were obviously kids. We didn't turn 10 till 89. I mean, we still obviously were old enough to appreciate it, but we appreciate it, as children. That was our childhood.
That's right.
If you were a teenager and you got to go to the movies and see all these great horror films and experience, I'm so jealous of you, man. Like, you got to experience all this for the first time. We got to see it later on VHS, which nothing wrong, still cool, but it would have been cool to have been a teenager, like in ninth. Could you imagine being like in the 7th grade and going with your buddies in 84 to see Nightmare on Elm Street when that first came out? I mean, like, it would have been so cool.
Yeah, it would have been great.
So now are these two a couple? I lost track for a second.
I don't know. This whole thing is like, but you remember the twist though, right? Like, you remember the twist.
I think the thing about this film that I'm remembering now, it's slow. It's a slow burn. It's good, but it's just a very slow burn.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Kevin Bacon wannabe.
I was going to say, is she dating Kevin Bacon wannabe here?
She is dating Kevin Bacon wannabe right here. She's going to be having some of Kevin's bacon. Buffy and Muffy. Muffy and Buffy.
Well, like, the cool thing, like we were saying in our little game over the weekend, is that you not only do you get everything from 85 to 89, but you also get stuff that happened like in the 60s and the 70s and all. Yep. So you get everything back. That's your back catalog, but you're living within that time frame. Yep. So I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I'm good. Yeah. I got everything I need. I got all the great horror films. Fuck yeah, I'm good. And I'm 21 forever. Yeah. The
50s would have been a cool decade too.
Biff howling at the moon, drinking the rum. Why is the rum gone?
The 50s would have been a good decade too.
Coming out of World War II and
seeing the rise of rock and roll, Elvis Presley,
rock and roll, the malt shops, the Age of Innocence.
It would have been a cool decade.
Absolutely, drive-ins were obviously the key thing at the time.
Yeah. Look at that little fucking doll. It's like a Ken doll on the table.
It really does.
So is Ginny dating Kevin Bacon?
I guess that's her boyfriend in the film.
It's not actually Kevin Bacon, folks, if you're just listening to us. It's a guy that just looks like
Kevin Bacon wannabe. I think they just took a dude that said, hey, you look like Footloose. You're in the movie.
Boom, 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 boom. Who was that girl that was on Beverly Hills 90210 that went off to have her own talk show for like a year or two?
In real life?
Yeah, like Sally Jesse Raphael type of talk show.
Wasn't that Andrea?
I think it was, yes.
Gabrielle Carteris?
That's it. Yep, that's it. And that's it. And she had her. I remember when I injured, I had a hockey injury where I injured my spleen and kidney. And I remember lying on the couch because I was, out for a few days, and I'm lying on the couch and I had to stay home from school. This is like 95 or whatever. And her show came on, Gabrielle.
She kind of looks like her.
That's why I brought it up.
Okay. I was going to say, as you're saying that, I'm like, man, if you threw some glasses, you threw some glasses on her, she looked like Andrea.
That's it. That's right. Vicky, that's right. That's why I brought it up. I was like, is that the same? No, I don't think it is. But yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, she had her own talk show. And I remember watching that while I was, just kind of, resting. And I was like, oh, Gabrielle. And I remember thinking Gabrielle was cute.
She was. Shannon was hot. Doherty.
Shannon Doherty. How is she doing? Do we know how she's doing? Because she was diagnosed with cancer there.
I haven't heard any updates, which is good, which, is always a good thing. No news is good news. Obviously, shitty news with DMX over the weekend. Hopefully he pulls through on that.
Yeah.
Sucks seeing these people that you grew up listening to, like, you know, shit like this happening.
Especially because they're not that much older than you and I.
No, he's only 50.
Like, what that's what hell? I mean.
Like,
I mean, you know,
that just like is like reality check, man. Like, damn, he's only 50.
You know, I mean, it's sad to think that, you know, our, you know, childhood heroes like, you know, Arnold or Sly or Harrison Ford or whatever. I
don't want to think about it, but I know.
Right. But it makes sense. I mean, they're well into their 70s, right? So
sure,
you get it. It makes sense. But when somebody, you know, who's basically, you know, just a few years older than you is diagnosed with it, you know, it's like, geez, yeah. I mean, we are in our 40s. It's not. I mean, anything can happen now. I mean, we are still young. That if it happens, it's quite young. But we're at that age now where anything can happen. You know, like the older you get, the higher the probability it is, and it's crazy.
Die Hard Drummer 84, DMX had a heart attack, and right now the last report that I read, he's pretty much in a vegetated state. Like he's on life support, no brain activity, nothing. Like that's just not good news.
Yeah,
at all.
Not good.
So you almost see what the inevitable is probably going to happen here in the next day or two. I think they're probably just getting everything like the legal details, making sure everything's taken care of.
It's like Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher died on that airplane.
Yes. Perfect example. Yes.
She didn't. I know there was all this, oh, is she not? No. She died on that airplane. She was being kept alive by life support, but she'd been dead for like 2 or 3 days. And then they were just waiting till Christmas was done.
Yeah.
Because then she's all of a sudden died on the 26th or whatever it was. It's like, no, she had been, what's crazy though is that her mother dies the next day or whatever it was, a day later or 2 days later. That's weird. But anyway. Ooh, Muffy is talking to Vicky.
Andrea Zuckerman wannabe.
Ooh, look at these two.
Yeah, she's hot. I'll give you that for a brunette. I love Nev, so Nev's a brunette. So,
well, she's got 80s hair. Yeah. No, I did. I thought for what? Well, hey, I mean, granted, it was over 20 years. It was 25 years ago, but I remember watching this for the first time, and I had a thing for Muffy. I guess I do. I remember it. Not a thing, but you know what I mean. Not a thing. Just a bunch of teenagers eating chips, watching horror movies. No, she's hot. Yeah, she is. Won't you do her? Yeah.
Of course.
That kind of stuff, right? Yeah, you do her. Yeah,
you do her. Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're coming up to my favorite moment in this movie. It's either now or it's going to happen.
Somebody opens the door and where's the one where Vicky's having sex or something with somebody?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Like somebody walks in and look at Tom Wilson's face. It's funny. I don't know. I don't usually get that close with my buddies, but whatever.
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s.
You could do that and nobody cared.
No, and I think they're drunk too. Just messing around, having fun. Stella.
God, could you imagine if there was social media around back then, what these cats were doing? Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
Well, it's so funny, like
because nowadays you can't hide anything, pretty much.
Well, that's just it. Social media hasn't caused. It's just like it's like how people catch. Like who was saying this? Somebody was saying that it's crazy how there's so many people like screaming in stores, and you catch like fights in restaurants and all this kind of stuff. It's like that's
new.
That stuff was always happening. It's just nobody had a camera in their pocket to pick it up.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got a camera, so now you're able to capture it. But it's not like somewhere in 2005, all of a sudden, people started behaving like shit in public. No, it's always happened. It's always happened. Just now everybody's got it. It's like car accidents happened all the time, but now people have dash cams, so it seems like it's happening every day. It's because it does, Anyway.
I like some of these jokes that, like the cigar blowing up in the dude's face. Like it fits the tone of the movie, what they're doing.
It's a good movie.
It's like kind of like a spoof horror film.
Yeah. Well, it's
not really a spoof, but
it's a whodunit it's a spoofy kind of whodunit, you know, but at the end you realize obviously that, you know, it's not real. But yeah, I love how she puts like these crazy things in there. Look at Vicky, she's like, oh, really? Interesting.
Oh my God, the big porn boxes. Yeah. I remember seeing those in the the video rental stores behind the curtain. They're like, dude, guys, you don't understand. They're like the size that he's holding in his hand. They're massive boxes. Well,
and I'm going to be honest with you, as a teenager, I remember buying one. There was
we had the magazines. We didn't buy the tapes.
We had magazines.
No way I could have gotten away with that in my house, but I definitely got away with the magazines.
Well, I hid mine. I remember going to, it was called Explicit Video. And I went down and we bought one. It was fucking funny. It was great. But you're right. They came in these big boxes,
big oversized boxes.
Ridiculous.
Like you knew what you were gonna watch. So
yes,
you know what I mean? Like
yes, yeah. They came in a box like it was a not like a VHS box. Like the tape was in like a plastic container in this box. It was insane. The old shooting the mirror.
I thought, like, did I hear a baby crying or was someone moaning?
I think I don't know. A baby's crying.
Oh, it's the cassette recorder, right?
The cassette. I love cassettes. I still have all my cassette tapes.
Same.
Like even tapes I used to record myself on and I used to do funny voices and make up stories.
I have a few of my shows saved. There we go.
There it is. There it is. Oh, she was about to take that off.
She was about to. She was like, oh, I can't go. You know, you didn't pay me enough.
It actually looked like she was going to, and then she stopped.
I think you're right, man. I think
it kind of does look like that.
Because now is she doing it now?
I don't know. Well, she'd be faking it if she was actually, you know. But
I'm wondering if she was just out of force of habit, you know, what I mean? And then caught herself, because it did look like for a second
it did look like that.
Go, and then if you rewatch that, I think
if you make that a GIF where it can go back, you know what I mean? It goes back and forth or rolls, you know, over and over. It looks like that, folks.
If I ever met her, I'd ask her that question, like, were you about to drop trow in April Fool's and realize, like, oh shit, wait.
She probably doesn't even remember. But she's not acting anymore, right? She's been long retired, I think.
Yeah,
right?
she's just doing the tours there with Adrienne King, right?
Right.
Going around meeting people and stuff.
Tidy whities.
I hope to get to meet her one day.
Look at the tidy whities. And I love how things begin so innocently, right? Like these little cute little practical jokes. You know what I mean? Like you turn off a light, another one turns on. Like they don't seem like they would lead to anything nefarious. You know, they just seem like funny things.
Yeah.
Amy Steele's laughing. It's like, all right. You know what I mean? It's kind of silly. And then, of course, things get real. Well, so you're supposed to think anyway. You're supposed to think they get real.
Why are you doing that, dude? There's a thing called a plug.
Yeah, really.
You know, like, what the hell, bro? It's like, no, we're just going to touch a hot bulb.
You have the light coming through the light. The light.
The blue light.
It's not even really blue. It's more of a... this is more of the light that we were emulating in It's Me, Billy.
And so you also see this type of lighting in Halloween 4. This has a Halloween 4 type style. Right.
It's not quite as blue. It's more natural. Like because moonlight isn't really like that. I mean,
moonlight's nothing.
It's not
dark.
But there's
you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And there's two ways to handle it, right? There's some things that are not actually what they are, but they work better cinematically. And then there's some things like, you know, that are more real, but maybe it would be more cinematic to make it more like this or whatever. Like there's different ways to play into the narrative. But with It's Me, Billy, we were going, obviously we do have moonlight, but we were going with, and it's cool, obviously, but we weren't going like blue, like 200 Kelvin or something, or or not 200 Kelvin, sorry, like 2000, or I think I'm going in the right direction, right?
Kind of like what I'm doing right now with my freaking camera, that the white balance is still. Oh, dude, I'm at 2000.
Oh, you're at 2000 right now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, doesn't even look that bad.
2000 Kelvin. I should be blue. I should be a fucking Smurf.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, no, you don't look like that. Instead, but you're right. Like if you go, if you go 2000 Kelvin, then that's like, you don't want to go that far. So we we worked with that with our DP, and that was one of the things that myself and Greg and Bruce did on our, there it is. Did you see it? It walked in. Look. What position is that?
I don't even know, man. I
don't even know what position that was.
If I was in that.
Oh my God. Oh, here he goes. Now this is Biff Tannen from Back to the Future soloing it
collar
here.
And
he's
well, the chair's just not working out for you.
Why did he pop the collar? Did he feel the need to
80s, man.
But he needed to pop the collar it's just funny. Yep.
Dudes were popping the collar back in
That's
the day.
What they were doing.
I remember that style came back for a brief moment, and I was like,
yeah,
that's a no. Like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pop your collar in a jacket, that's different. You know what I mean? Like, but a freaking polo. No.
It really looked like, it almost looked like he really did. He accidentally slipped. And he was able to hold on, and they just went with it. It just kind of looked like that, but maybe not. Sorry, but that was one of the reasons why we did the camera test before we shot Sweet Billy, because you're looking for that kind of stuff. What works best, what looks best.
Is he supposed to be cutting marijuana?
Maybe.
That didn't not look like marijuana.
Maybe it was poison ivy or something.
So did you and the girl do anything yesterday for Easter, or just hang out?
No, just kind of chill, just we're just together and chill and had a nice dinner, and because our families are so far away, right? So it's not something like we can actually just kind of and for Easter for us it's not for Christmas it's different, more of an occasion, right? But Easter it's like it's Easter. I mean, I guess if you're very religious it can mean a lot to you, but for me, for myself especially, I mean, I didn't grow up in a religious household, so when I think of Easter, I think of chocolate eggs and bunnies.
Well, we did that. We did the whole, eggs and all that stuff, and
that's great.
A shit ton of food, and
that's great.
Yeah, I'll be working that off for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I pigged out.
Nice. Well, you're allowed, man. You see, that's why you work out as hard as you do, so you can have these moments where you do that. It's why I run. It's why I'm running out there. I'm like, so I can afford one. Afford like a time where you're like, hey, I can cheat. I can actually have all this food and not worry about it.
Are we at the first kill?
I think we are. Well, the first quote unquote kill. Excuse me. Dude, I watched the movie Greenland yesterday.
Is that the Gerard Butler movie?
Yes, great movie. Loved it. Okay. Thought it was great. Very it's one of those apocalyptic disaster movies. Yeah. But it's not. It plays out like legit. It's very grounded, and it feels. I thought the performances were solid. It doesn't feel like an Armageddon or a Deep Impact. Like it's not that self-aware. It feels like legit, like as legit and as grounded as you probably could get with a movie like this. So it's not overly sensational. There's a uncomfortable feeling to watching the movie, and there's some great moments of tension and suspense. So I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I don't know if you have Prime, but it's on there.
No, I don't have Prime, but
okay. It might be on HBO Max. I don't know. I don't know. Is it Warner Brothers? I don't know.
No,
but you might be able to rent it somewhere else. But it's good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Oh, there's Kevin Bacon.
Is Biff wearing boxer shorts with shorts over boxer shorts?
I don't know. Is he?
I think he is.
I think he is. He's wearing boxer shorts with shorts over his boxers. I think that's exactly what's going on.
This is why I love the 80s, because nobody cared about what the hell they looked like. It's like, I'm going to wear boxer shorts, but then I'm going to put a pair of shorts over my boxer shorts.
That's right.
There I go.
That's right. Okay, guys, just kick the soccer ball around. We'll just film you guys kicking the soccer ball around.
That's it.
Just have fun. You're like, let's have fun. Oh, we're hitting each other and we're having fun and we're socializing and we're cute and we're friends and it looks like we've been friends for a while and this is sort of the calm before the storm.
When storyline didn't mean nothing.
Nah. This girl sees something, I think, right?
I did, however, not watch once. Imagine this now. Since Wednesday, since I got HBO Max, I've watched this not once, but twice, the Snyder Cut. 8 hours.
You've watched the Snyder Cut twice?
Twice.
Why?
Once by myself.
You must have really liked it.
My nephews. Oh, yeah, dude.
Your nephews.
I freaking absolutely loved it, dude. It's so, like, I thought, I mean, this goes to show you, don't ever assume. I thought it was just going to be like watching the producer's cut to Curse of Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Like just extended scene. It's a fucking whole different movie. Like entirely different movie. Like
gotcha.
What? Like same scenes. It's like you're watching the same scenes, but you're gonna watch Josh Whedon's take, Zack Snyder's take. Same scenes, but just different dialogue, different performances, and yeah, I was like, holy shit, like this is insane. Like, I thought it was really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Minus the fact that it's 4 hours, but it's good.
Now we're at the scene here where Amy Steele and Tony.
Woman. Get your
no, that's you there, Tony. That's you and that's you and Amy Steele.
I would have only been, what were we, 7 at the time?
7.
I was a little young for her at the time.
A little young.
Now I'd be perfect for her.
Yeah. How old is she now? She's got to be in her 50s, early 50s, I guess.
Yeah, she's got us by at least a few years.
She is.
I never said I was too good for the Snyder Cut. I just said I didn't want to sit for 4 hours and watch the Snyder Cut at the time.
And I get it.
But then I watched it and I'm like, this is really good. But I never said I was too good for it. Oh, the Marilyn Manson.
No, she's actually 61.
Is she really? She looks great. I've seen photos of her. She looks great for her age.
Yeah, she was born in 1960.
Oh, wow.
Hey, her birthday's the same birthday as my dad's, which is May 3rd.
So I was going to say, she's not a Gemini. She's a, what's
Taurus.
the one? Taurus.
Yeah, so she's turning 61 in like another month. Wow. Yeah, 1960. Because 40 would be... So she was already 21 or 22 in the early 80s. That makes sense. Yeah. So 40 years is 10, 20, 30, 40 is to the year 2000. And then 50 is 2010. 60 is 2020, 2021. Yeah, she's 61. She's 61, Mom. I thought she would have been... Although that makes sense, though.
So, yeah, because she's got to be at least 20 years older than us. I mean, she's Friday the 13th. She looks like she's in her early 20s in that film.
Yeah, she is. She is.
You know what I mean? And we're what? You and I are only 2 at the time when that comes out, right?
That's right. That's right.
1 or 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would make sense that she's about 20 years older than us.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, I wasn't getting that for some reason. But you're absolutely correct. Jenny!
I don't know if she's a mom, so I can't say she's a MILF.
MILF.
Well, she's not a mom. I don't know if she's a mom. Well, no, because if she's never had a kid.
No, that's true.
I don't know if she's had kids.
But maybe she's had kids who have kids. That makes her a gilf.
True.
Or she's had kids who've had kids who've had kids. Makes her a gilf. Man, she's a gilf.
Gilf.
What? Or a gilf. What? No, it'd be good because it's great grandmother. Yeah, that's right. No, she's a gilf.
I would.
Like I said, and then you just keep going. And you just keep going down the chain. If her kids have had kids who've had kids who've had kids, that makes her a gilf. And then just keeps going. It just keeps going. That's it.
Now, is this Buffy or Muffy?
This is Muffy. Isn't this Muffy?
I don't know.
I'm
sort of keeping up, but I'm not keeping up.
Whoa, was that a jump cut there? That kind of looked like a jump cut.
I think it looked like a jump cut.
It was a little bit of a jump cut. Yeah, looking at her now, I'd be like, yeah, she's cute. I can see why I was like, oh, I kind of like Muffy when I was like 16, 17.
Gary, how is what? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking.
Probably the Snyder cut, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe the Snyder cut?
I don't know. Look at this stooge in his polo shirt with his preppy pants, getting ready to go play golf or something.
Say, isn't that like Argyle pants or something?
Yeah. It's like the people in, or the guys in Trading Places that hang out with Dan Aykroyd. Hello, my name's Winthorpe. Oh, come my darling. I love how they're talking to each other like that as they're getting undressed to have sex. My dear, I don't think it's such a good movie. That Trading Places is fucking great.
We'll do that one night.
Yeah, we will. Somebody will get offended. It'll be great. It'll be great. I don't care.
Why? Because the blackface moment?
Well, yeah, there's that. Yep. And of course, Dan Aykroyd is, there's the blackface at the, well, yeah, that especially. Yeah, blackface, and he's doing a Jamaican accent.
I don't know. We see Jamie Lee's boobs, so it's good.
We do. But it goes to show you, though, how, like, way back in the day, I mean, not that it's ever been right, but I'm just saying.
What does Randy say in Scream? She didn't go legit till she showed her tits.
In Scream? I don't remember that.
He says that about Jamie Lee. That's
I don't remember
because they're in the
I believe
house.
you. I get it.
They're in the house watching Halloween at the party, and
Yeah.
Stu's like, I want to see Jamie Lee's boobs, man. And Randy says the line,
yeah,
she didn't go legit till she showed her tits. And I want to say might have been Trading Places was the film that he referenced.
That was it. I think that was it. Yeah. Look at this snake. Holy shit. Snakes are fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of snakes.
Snakes are awesome.
I have serious issues with snake. I'm like Bam Margera. Maybe not to that total extreme, like he's like really fearful of snakes. I'm like, you stay over there, bub. I'm good.
Here's what I find kind of funny, though, about this movie. And I understand that you have to play it this way for the audience. Okay. If everybody, and maybe I'm wrong, so help me out here, folks. Follow me. See if you follow me here. I understand why it's written this way, and I understand that it's written this way for the audience, especially because the first time you're watching this film, you'd have no idea that it's all a joke, right? But what's funny is that we just saw Tom Wilson's character hanging in the tree, and he's like, oh my God, oh my God. Well, if he's in on it, or if he, like, there would be no need to go through that with him. You would just approach him and say, hey, listen, man, we're doing this joke. We're going to set your body up over here as if it's dead. There'd be no need to go through the motion as if you're going to kill him when you're not going to kill him. You would just pull him, you would just get everybody into a room and go, listen, here's what we're going to do. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
There'd be no reason for it. But again, I understand at the same time, if you do that, then there's no way to trick the audience, right? Then the tricking, showing Tom Wilson's character or anybody about to be killed is really all about fooling the audience into thinking that they're going to die. And I get that. Like I'm totally, I'm just being a little bit of a dick, but I just, logically I find it funny because it really is like, why would you go through it if he knows about this? Or maybe he doesn't know about it yet. You wouldn't necessarily have to fake kill him and then go, no, I'm just kidding. No, you would take him aside and say, hey, here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to need you to play dead over there because we got this little thing going on. And he'd be like, okay, yeah, okay. And he would just do it like he did,
You could totally remake this movie. I mean, I would definitely, I would push the gore a little bit harder. And I don't know if I would do the twist as it was all a joke.
No, I think what a remake should do is a remake. And I think there was one or a sequel.
Still do it as a whodunit, but
yes.
Don't do it as a joke.
Or what you do is you do play it off as a joke, only to then spin it that it isn't a joke.
Right.
So it's a false sense of security. So you pay homage to the original ending. Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. But then all of a sudden the movie is continuing, and it's like, what? And then you realize, holy shit, it's not a joke.
Right. It's for real.
Right. It's for real. So you kind of you get a false sense of security towards the end. Yeah, I'd like to see a remake. But then again, all right, Blumhouse will do it.
Blumhouse.
Do everything.
Come on, you're doing it all. So come on, you're remaking everything. What the hell?
Listen.
Get on board. Well, didn't someone say Scout? I saw someone in the chat room say Scout did a remake of this. Scout, like a direct to DVD or something like that.
Oh, really? Oh, fuck. I don't know. Blumhouse is, and listen, Blumhouse, like Netflix, obviously, the more content you create and the more you throw at the wall, something's going to stick. So there's content that Blumhouse produces that is really good, that is actually really well done. And there's content they produce, which is other dog shit. But that's natural. When you produce as much content as they do, and you just throw everything, and including the kitchen sink at the wall, you're going to get a lot of shit. Netflix's business model is essentially, let's spend billions of dollars making as much content as we can and just hoping that, we end up with 5 really good titles.
You know what though? Here's the thing. I'm finding the docuseries that Netflix do are really good. That's the only reason why I'm hanging on to Netflix. Plus Cobra Kai, I want to see that through. But their selection of movies now suck.
Yeah.
I mean, suck. Big time suck. I was kind of glad to subscribe to HBO Max because I'm like, damn, I got at least plus what I own digitally now, what HBO Max has. I'm like, okay, this is good. Hulu is okay, but yeah, the Netflix selection, other than their docuseries, everything else sucks.
Well, and it's frustrating too because Netflix. What I find particularly frustrating, I've said it before, is they will.
Like it used to be good. They had good selection.
Yeah, well, and they still do, but there's so much content that you if you don't already hear about it from your significant other or your buddy or your friend or whatever, you have to weed through so much stuff to find something that's good. And the one thing I find annoying, and I'm sure every streaming service has it, I don't know, but Netflix, of course, being the granddaddy of this. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whenever I see a show that piques my interest, I'll read the little blurb there, and say there's like 2 seasons or something. I will look online to see if the show is continuing because I don't want to invest in a show that just suddenly stops. I've had that. I've been burned that way a couple of times where I'll be invested in a show. I'll watch like a season and then I find out that it's been canceled, and it's not like they allow the show the opportunity to wrap things up. They just stop. So character arcs are left unfinished. Loose ends are left unresolved. It's just, they just stop. And they do that because nobody's tuning in or because, whatever, right? But it's frustrating. I fucking hate that bullshit. I get it, but I'm like, and Netflix does it all the time. And it's like, I don't want to, why would I invest in this show? Like I remember I was really invested in the show, The Society. Yeah, here's for those of you that are watching along with us, we're at the scene here where Nikki is in the bottom of the well and she's screaming and yelling, and there's
she's having her ring moment.
She's having her ring moment. The guy's like,
hey,
John, come on. She's
that
like,
dude is like doing a really shitty job of acting. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But there's dead bodies down there. There it is. Oh my God. And this is all, of course, supposed to be a practical joke. And that's where we are here. I think there was a little jump cut there. Kind of looked like it.
Anyway. I believe her. I believe she scared this dude.
Yeah, she's selling it. She's selling it. Well, he's 80s scared. Well, he's a fucking pussy. That's what he is. He's a wimp. This guy's a wimp. He's a wimp. He's a preppy wimp.
I don't want to get my khakis wet.
That's it. Yes, that's exactly it. I don't want to get my khakis wet. I'd love to see a movie where somebody talks like that.
I don't think you're going to see that anymore.
No, you're probably not going to see that anytime soon. But I was, what was I saying? Oh, right. So it's like The Society. Now, although I'm not the age demographic The Society was particularly geared towards, I tuned in summer of 2019. I was under the weather. I tuned in. I watched the first episode, the first season. That's all there was, because I was under the weather and I was looking for something to watch that had a mystery to it or something. And so I watched The Society and I was hooked. It was a great show, great performances, great tension. It was like, Lord of the Flies meets Stranger Things kind of thing. It was it had like a supernatural thing to it, and there was kind of like a biblical thing to it. It was really, really cool, actually. I thought it was very well done, great performances, and really cool. But apparently because of COVID, so they say, they just canceled it. They just canceled the show. And of course,
really?
they just canceled it because they couldn't get they were going to do a season 2 because it was a huge hit, and they lost momentum, and because of it's an ensemble piece and there were so many working parts with people having to be in close proximity with each other, they just decided, instead of delay it indefinitely, they canceled it all together. Great show. Now it's not wrapped up. It ends on this massive cliffhanger that you're never going to know what the fuck happened next. And the actors, I saw, this interview with a couple of the actors, they're like, oh, we're so sorry, it sucks, oh, that sucks. And I'm sure it does. I mean, that's work for them that they're out of. I understand that. As an actor, I get it. But then they say, but if you want to go back and rewatch The Society, it'll always be there on Netflix. I'm like, why would I go back and rewatch The Society and give myself fucking blue balls? Because when I get to the end of that fucking series, I'm going to that's it again. I don't know what happens next. Oh, well, but at least I can just watch this again over and over. Why would I do that? True. I mean, there's no point in doing that. It sucks that happens. I understand the logistics of why they do that, but I just think if they didn't if they focused on making great content instead of a ton of content, maybe they wouldn't have to do that so often. It's just fucking annoying. So anyway, that's my Netflix rant. I
agree. I agree with Ben.
Hate getting invested in shows that go nowhere.
Ben Tramer, back from the dead, he says he doesn't watch much TV anymore. It's all crap. I agree with him. There really isn't.
No.
The last TV show that I was hooked to was Smallville. That's a decade ago.
Yeah, I see. That's going back.
That I would commit to watching okay. Yes, I know I watched Cobra Kai. Yes, I watched. I'm talking about
Cobra Kai. Yeah, really like Cobra Kai.
And
Stranger Things, Cobra Kai. Yeah,
Ozark is really good.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a weekly show. You know what I'm saying? A show because now everything just drops all at once. So
yes.
I don't view those as shows how when we grew up, it was a television show. They would come out once a week. The new episode once a week. Not all at once. I haven't been into a show like that since Smallville, excluding, the Cobra Kais and the Stranger Things from that conversation. Speaking of Stranger Things, man, what the fuck's going on with season 4?
They're still shooting it, I think. Or maybe they just
wrapped. Feels like it's been 10 years since season 3 came out.
Season 3 was 2019.
Well, you know what? Because of 2020 being the slowest year ever, that's why it probably feels like it's been 10 years.
100%. Now, is this Buffy or Muffy? I don't know.
I don't know, but Amy Steele's rocking that flowery shirt and tie.
Oh, it's my girl going after your girl there. Cat fight. No, it's awful to say. Although I will say,
why couldn't I have been a band in the 80s and just met Amy Steele? What the fuck?
Well,
that'd be the other thing I guess I'd ask God for. Can Amy Steele come back with me?
Look at this guy. He's got a gun. Is that the preppy guy?
I think
no, that's not the preppy guy. That's
the
Kevin Bacon guy. I think it's Kevin Bacon. Let's call him Kevin Ham.
Kevin Ham.
Kevin Ham.
Oh my God.
It's Kevin Ham.
Kevin Sausage.
No, it is the preppy guy.
It's the preppy guy.
It is the preppy guy. What is going on here? The preppy guy's got a gun all of a sudden.
He's gone all John McClane.
He has. All John McClane, man.
Come out to the island. We'll have a few laughs. Make a few jokes.
Or come out to the coast, I think it is. Come out to the coast.
Well, no, I'm saying where he's at.
Oh, the island. He's right. Sorry. That was an epic fail on my part.
I think they're on an island, right? In this? Is that where they're at?
I think they are. Yeah, I think they are. I think that's why they had to take a boat over there.
Yeah.
The preppy guy. It's all right. I got a gun. I know what I'm doing. This guy, the guy with the spuggy hair, looks like he. I don't know these guys.
Oh, the movie director.
He's the movie director. The guy with the spiky hair.
Well, the guy.
Oh, the guy that had the camera. Yeah. Look at this. Oh, you love it. Vicky saying, "What is this stuff? I found this stuff." And they say, "You fucking lie." She does. Come on. Listen, if you're the kind of woman that will fuck on a first date, seeing whips and chains and handcuffs is not something that's going to bother you. Okay. I'm sorry. But if you are that easy to get into the sack, whips, chains, and handcuffs is not something you're going to be like, oh my God, look at the house. Come on. I'm just saying. Come on.
Speaking of Kevin Bacon, you know what I just watched now that I got HBO Max because it was on there? I watched Mystic River for the first time.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Fucking phenomenal movie.
Fucking great. Tim Robbins.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, yep.
Killer killer fucking
That was directed by
film.
Clint Eastwood.
Was
That's
it?
Yep, 2003, I think it was. That's a great movie.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of fucked up, like what
Yep.
happens to Tim Robbins' character and, you know, a lot of the undertones that were going on in there and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Mystic River, watch it.
Fucking really good movie.
You'll be glad you did.
Absolutely.
You'll be glad you did.
Yeah, I was like, why did this not go to theaters? I've heard of it, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't remember it.
I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, here we are. Muffy. What is Muffy saying here? Let me just put this up a little bit. Oh, she's just walking away. Wouldn't you be like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, what the fuck's going... Yeah, look at this. Kevin Ham is all into it.
He's loving it.
She does have a point there. We're all starting
Yes,
to
she
get
does.
on each other's nerves.
As long as we all just stay within shouting distance of each other.
That's so great. It is. It's like those classic whodunit. Well, it's like that old Agatha Christie. Well, I'm not going to say the name of the original title of Agatha Christie.
It also has a Murder, She Wrote, you know, vibe to it, too.
Sure.
For those who don't know, Murder, She Wrote was a really popular show in the 80s. With
huge.
And he really huge.
Yeah.
With
Angela Lansbury.
Thank you. Yeah, Angela. I always remember the ending of the dude typing on the typewriter and he does this. You know, at the end credits.
That's her that does that.
Is it her that does the typewriter?
Yeah,
no,
because she's sitting at the typewriter typing.
Yes, you're right.
It's her that does it.
And you're right.
And because she's a
I remember my grandparents like religiously watched that show.
My mom loved that show, and I liked it too. Actually, there's some pretty good episodes. Some pretty good episodes. Yeah, she was a mystery novelist who always solved crimes, or who helped solve crimes. Yeah. And it was good. It ran for
She's passed away now, right?
No, she's still alive.
She's still going. She's like, what's her name? Betty White.
Yeah, she's a bit younger than Betty White, but not by much. Yeah, she's still going. Yeah, she's still going. Pack it up, fuzzball. They're fighting now.
I want to wear pajamas for pants like this dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's
got Converse and pajamas on.
Yep. I did that in the 90s a couple of times. Not to school, but like if I had to dash out and get something quick or something, I'd wear like pajama bottoms and a pair of Nikes.
That's the other thing I loved about the 80s, man. Great fucking TV shows. I mean, just beyond just my favorite. Forget, Cheers. I mean, you can just go through the 80s Rolodex and just Murder, She Wrote, you know what I mean? Shows like that.
Well, TV was a very, it was the last
boom of like the last of really great TV shows.
Huge. Yeah, it was huge. Yep. Not so much anymore. Now we're TV and people are tuning into us. What a letdown. What a step down. Sorry, folks. We're not.
Nice ass.
I missed it. So I was
caught it for just a blip of a second as she was pulling up the pants.
I missed it. Yeah, what did she go?
Oh, that's right. I remember that was really popular. That look is sort of making a comeback because I'm noticing more girls wearing the cutting off the collar and having the one shoulder down.
Yeah,
which was really popular in the 80s. Madonna made that look popular, how she's got it here. But I'm also noticing now that I'm seeing girls rocking that look again.
That's weird. Deborah Goodrich has nothing on IMDb since in like 30 years. What is she doing now? I'm just Googling her. Oh, there she is. That's kind of cute. She's, oh my God. Went to Google Images.
Dude's got like a demolition mask on. Remember that tag team wrestling? Demolition?
Yes, I do. Dude, I'm going to bring this up. She's got a website.
Who?
Deborah Goodrich, Vicky. And she's older now, obviously. She's got to be, God, I don't know, maybe in her late 50s, early 60s. She kind of looks like, that's funny. I think she's like what is she, a novelist now? And hang on, let me go to her website. I'm on her website. Goodrich's first psychological thriller. She's a novelist. That's so funny. She's got 2 books. She's got a Facebook page. She's got Twitter. She's got Instagram. That's so cute. Yeah, she's still around. She's just not really acting anymore. I mean, naturally, obviously, she looks like an older woman now, but she still looks good for her age. She looks really good. That's cute. That's funny. Good for her. Good for her. Good for her. Da-na-na-na. Here it comes. She's going down. Take that, bitch.
Oh, the kills in this are so cheesy, but I love it.
It's great. But you're right. It plays out very much like an Agatha Christie, like that old. Do you remember the? I mean, I can't, for obvious reasons, I can't say the name of the original title because it's not very. It's not very nice. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah.
But it was switched to it switched a couple of titles, but the more common title today is called "And Then There Were None."
Right.
And it was about people going to there's different versions of it. There's been a couple of movies based on the book. One takes place in like a ski chalet or something in the middle of nowhere. So there's like a 1930s movie or 40s movie. It takes place on an island. They go on a boat. They go over to an island, and that sort of thing is always fun, and that is what this is essentially.
You're right.
To a degree, it's that kind of thing. You put a bunch. It's the classic sort of theme, right? You put a bunch of people isolated in a location, and they start to be picked off one by one, and the killer has to be amongst them because there's nobody else there. And I love that kind of stuff. Murder on the Orient Express was like that. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you see the
instead
movie?
Instead of a cabin on an island,
came
it's a
out
train.
recently.
A couple years ago?
Yeah. Did you see
I
that?
did.
You
Yeah,
did?
I thought
Did
it was
you
all
like
right.
it?
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was all right. Yeah.
I was never really big into Agatha Christie. I mean, obviously I know who she is and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
she was, look at these dolls. Oh, they all represent them. That's cool too, because there's that too in the old stories and stuff.
which is creepy in itself.
Very creepy. Very creepy. They're all and you can tell who's who too.
That's us.
Oh, there's the fell into the well, the heads and everything, and yeah, that's creepy. How you're going to die. Why are they like? Is this a situation where I forgot that Amy Steele has this much screen? I forgot she was in this movie. Fuck.
Well, she's the lead in this.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, she is. I totally forgot about that. Is this a scenario, I must have missed it and I forget, where they can't get off the island, obviously, because the boat doesn't come for another couple of days? There's a storm or something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think
I'm surprised there hasn't been a storm yet.
I will say, Amy Steele, the girl who plays Nikki, what was her name? Deborah what?
Oh, Deborah Goodrich.
Deborah Goodrich. And then Muffy, who's basically the same character, Muffy and Buffy.
Yeah.
They pretty much run circles around everybody in this film. You can tell that at least they're solid actresses.
Yeah.
The dudes, I'm not buying the dudes.
It's very cheesy.
Very cheesy. But I mean, as far as performance goes, Amy's doing, she's doing her thing.
Yep. She's doing her thing.
Deborah's doing hers, and Muffy Buffy.
What if this is in the same universe as Friday the 13th Part 2? Oh! And this is her years later. And right now in her head, she's thinking to herself, this isn't Jason, is it? This isn't Jason, is it?
She's having flashbacks now.
She's having flashbacks right now. She's having flashbacks.
Of the sack.
Yes. Maybe this is, Paul. Yeah, yes. Yes, and her and Paul broke up because they just couldn't get it together. And, she started dating Kevin Ham. Kevin Ham, yep. Kevin Ham.
See, if the actor... better.
Ooh, let me check if the actor who played Kevin Ham is Canadian, because then we could call him Kevin Canadian Bacon. By the way, folks, we have regular bacon. I know Canadian. There's a thing called Canadian bacon, which is essentially ham.
We have Canadian bacon down here.
Canadian bacon is essentially ham. Yeah. It's ham, but that doesn't mean that we don't have bacon up here. Like, I hate that they call it Canadian bacon, because it's like, it makes it seem like this is all we have. It's our version of bacon. It's like, no, we call what you call Canadian bacon, we call ham. Because it's ham. That's what it is. I don't even understand why it's called Canadian, because I can go to the grocery store right now and buy normal bacon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
And I can go to the grocery store and buy Canadian bacon.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I can't go to the grocery store and buy Canadian bacon because it'll be called ham. So I don't understand it. Well, you can get Canadian bacon, but
the only Canadian beer I can get down here is Molson. I think that's yours, right? I think Molson's is your
Molson's
brand.
Canadian. Canadian is a brand too.
I don't have that. I've heard of that, but I don't have that. I might have been able to get that in Connecticut.
I think Labatt Blue. I think that's Canadian.
I think there was more Canadian brands of alcohol I could get because the closer north you get, but the further south away I got it. Yeah, like the only thing down here is Molson, which is like not really like it's like what Molson to us is like what Rolling Rock I guess would be the brand. It's not like sure. It's not a great beer. It's an all right beer. It's kind of got a bitter taste to it, like Heineken.
Right.
Got to have a Heineken taste to it, sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
And the last time I remember, I haven't drank beer in like forever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, forever.
Yep. It's true. Yeah.
This boathouse looks like Amityville's boathouse. Did you see the photo I shared the other day? My film picture that I took of the house, the Amityville house?
Yes, I did. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Film, black and white film port. I shared on Instagram the other day stories, the Amityville house and the Perrin, the real Conjuring farmhouse, not the movie one, which looks nothing like what they did in the movie.
Yeah.
I think it was 10 years ago now.
Conjuring was 2013, so yeah, almost.
No, the farmhouse. I'm saying that was an old photograph that I took.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because I've known about before even the Conjuring came out. We've all known about that farmhouse because that was like on the border of where I lived between Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts.
Right. I got you.
Yeah, that the story of that house, man. That's like that's like one of those houses like we all wanted to go, like the Amityville house. We all wanted to go to the house and see the house.
Yep, I got you. My God, bloody son of a bitch. You remember the 90s song, I want to sex you up?
Color Me Bad. Of course. Of course, man.
Yep.
That's part of the new, they called it the new, I think it was the new Jack style of music.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is the actual term of it.
Right.
They were in that run of, because I actually got a playlist of that on my Spotify.
So Ginny here, as far as I'm concerned,
you mean
this
it's
is canon.
not Jenny?
No, Jenny. Forrest Gump. This is canon. This is canon.
Jenny.
And this is Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2. This is Kevin Bacon's character's brother from Part 1. Yes.
That makes more sense.
Yes. And they think that Jason might be back. Yes. I'm telling you, it's officially canon, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually Friday the 13th, part 3.5.
This is what we were supposed to get.
That's
actually,
correct.
In hindsight,
Yep.
If obviously I would want a better cast. I would take Amy Steele. I would take Deborah Goodwin, and what's the chick's name who plays Muffy?
Goodrich.
I'll just think of Dale's car. Goodrich.
Yeah, Deborah Goodrich, and then who plays Muffy?
Dale's car was Goodwrench, not Goodrich. No, wait, it was Goodrich. Jesus.
Muffy. Oh, wait a second here. The girl who plays Muffy is Deborah Foreman. So we got two Deborahs.
Goodwrench.
Deborah Foreman and Deborah Goodrich. And Deborah Foreman she's 60.
My brother would have straight up. My brother's a huge NASCAR guy. He would have whooped my ass on that one.
That's cool.
But take those three girls.
Yep.
Get a better cast of dudes around them. If this was set on the lake in a house, I wouldn't have mind this as a Friday the 13th part 3 with her. Change the elements of it, make it's on a lake.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That is true. That's true.
It's kind of like what 3 did. 3 was like in a corner of a lake of Crystal Lake in a house.
Yeah.
And the farm, and they introduced us to the farmhouse and everything. Yeah. Barn. I'm sorry, the barn, not farmhouse.
Look at this. There they are. Ginny and Kevin Ham. By the way, we do get Canadian. You can get Canadian bacon here in Canada, but it's ham.
I'd be shocked if you didn't. That would be funny.
Well, yeah, but what's so silly about it
I'd
is,
like to get some Canadian bacon. We don't sell that here.
well, but it's essentially ham, and that's what's so silly about it, is that it's like I've always found it silly. Like if I go to a restaurant and Canadian bacon is and I order it, I'm just ordering ham essentially.
True.
So I just find it silly. I'm just like, I don't understand why you call it, because like I could see if you couldn't get regular bacon here, they just never sold it, so you had to settle for this kind of, but that's not true at all. You go to the grocery store, there's like 50,000 regular packages of bacon. I just don't get it. You get bacon all over the place. If you order bacon in Canada, they will always bring you bacon. They're not going to bring you Canadian bacon. I don't even understand what's called Canadian bacon. It's so stupid. I find it stupid anyway. Just call it ham. That's what it is. And by the way, the prosthetic of that head falling over, clearly, obviously an effect, but still cool. She's got a big knife too. Oh,
she does. She's going full Michael Myers here with this shit.
No, this is a knife. That's a knife. It's a fucking knife.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's not a knife. I should have had my Rambo knife. I have a fucking like massive Rambo knife. I should have brought that out. I should have busted that out. That's right. That's right. And this, now who is this? This is not Jason. This is Jason's sister. Yes. Yes. Jason's sister. That's who this is. And she's like, you killed my brother. I didn't. He came through the window. Turn this up a little bit. Look at the mascara running down her face.
Hey, it could have been illegitimate child of Mr. Voorhees. You know, not from
That's
Pam.
what I'm talking about.
Not
That's
from
what I'm
Pam.
talking about. Yep. That's what I'm
It
talking
was outside
about.
of wedlock. You killed my brother. He was my last surviving family member.
Yep.
Hello. My name is whatever her name is. You killed my brother. Prepare
My
to
name
die.
is Julie. Julie Voorhees.
Julie Voorhees. You
Julie
killed my
and
brother.
Jason.
Prepare to die.
I love this. And then she turns around, I think, and she turns around. Everybody's just sitting there.
Buffy Voorhees. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that knife. Come on, Buffy. No, wait, is this Buffy or is this Muffy?
I don't know.
Fuck, I'm totally confused.
We've
Can't remember.
rewritten this movie to be Friday the 13th, so
Yeah.
I don't
Look
know
at that
where
knife,
we're at
though.
right now.
She's going down. She's going down. She's going to open the door.
April Fools.
And everyone's just kind of, no, I got to turn this off. So just want the audience to hear this a little bit. Like nobody's saying anything.
Right? Everyone's just like,
Yeah.
that would be a fucked up prank to do on someone.
Oh, fuck. Would that
That would
be
be a
fucked
really
up?
fucked up prank to do.
That'd be so fucked up. Just hear the ticking of the clock. Great
She's
environment.
looking at
guys.
her like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on here?
Oh, ha ha. Ha 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 ha! It's really funny, you guys! Really funny. Fuck you!
That's the most over dramatic I love you
Come
in
on!
cinema.
Yeah, and then he didn't even punch him. That was like a fake punch. Look at his eyes sitting there, and he's like, I love you. Kevin Ham is going crazy in there. He's going crazy. Yeah, they're all
I
in his
love
hat.
you, Jenny.
I know, he takes
whatever
off
your
the
name
prosthetic.
is.
But this is what's so silly. Like, you didn't need to go through all. He's still not getting it. You still
No,
think, look at him. He's like,
it hasn't registered.
it hasn't. He even took it off his face and put it on his face. And it hasn't registered yet. That would be some serious ass, like, that's serious commitment.
That is that's like that's a total commitment prank right there.
Yep. 100%.
So now she doesn't have a twin. She played her own twin. So
she played her own twin, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, they just. She's all excited about it. Why would you do that to your friends? But see, that's the kind of thing that you couldn't, like, everybody would have to be in on it from the very beginning.
Really?
So that's why it's kind of funny when you see people getting killed. It's like, why would they go through that themselves? Because there's nobody, like, there's nobody there except the audience in the theater watching the movie. It's a little strange. Of course, you don't think of that when you're watching it, but if you really dissect it, you realize that doesn't make any sense.
So what you're saying is, with your idea, you would have had this moment happen just a bit earlier in the movie so that the twist comes where shit starts going real. You
mean for like a remake?
Yeah, is what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
So,
maybe
because we're like, what? We've got 9 minutes left. I think you would want maybe at least another good 30 minutes to start having it turn into something real.
I don't even know if I need that much longer. Maybe
Sure.
Rewind. Yeah, because you could make it still a 90-minute movie. Let's say rewind 15 minutes and then give the last 20 minutes, where it starts hitting the fan. And you have like it's just that extra at the end that's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what
that would be a good idea if you were going to do this. Blumhouse, there you go. We just gave you $1 million budget.
There it is. There it is right there.
Project.
Yep. There it is right there. It's, yep. That's it. Yeah, can you imagine actually?
Thanks, I was in on it too. I had to pretend I didn't know what was going on. Well, that's right. That's fucking right.
They're bringing in the champagne. Turn this up here.
Guess they're gonna know what they're in for, and the scenario won't be nearly so extreme. I do regret some of the fake clues that I put into the bedrooms were taken a bit too seriously, and I'm sorry about that. But we had fun, didn't we? Come on! I'm never gonna forget this weekend as long as I live.
Amy Steele's sitting there right now thinking to herself, I could have done Friday 3. That's what she's probably thinking. I could have done Friday 3.
Probably.
I should have done Friday
I could see
3.
that. Totally. I would. I'd be like anybody.
Because Jason at this point, man, he's in the stratosphere of popularity.
Oh, 100%.
Because they're doing 6 at this point. They're doing Jason Lives.
Yep. That's right.
So his popularity is at an all-time high.
Yep.
But you saw that, like, she's sitting there on the couch. She looks so like defeated, even though I know she's acting here like she's having fun with them and shit. But
it's true.
The lead up to that, she looked like, I'm sitting here and I could have done Friday 3.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really getting Muffy all.
Isn't this Three Dog Night?
Sorry, say again.
Isn't this 3 Dog Night?
Oh,
no. Who is this?
Turn this up.
Shit.
Oh, maybe.
Who is this? Someone in the chat room tell me. This chick's got a bit of a... Oh, wait, that's not the proper pronoun to use. This girl...
But she's
got a bit of a sexy, innocent look to her. I can see why you're attracted to her. She's got that in the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought she was cute. I think she should have hung herself.
It is 3 Dog Night.
I think she should have hung herself. Oh, I remember how this ends now. That's right.
They pull a joke on her, right?
Yes, but
I think it becomes real.
Yeah, I can't remember. Let me just see here. I kind of remember this now, though. I kind of remember this. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's the music box thing from her childhood, I think.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think something legitimately happens to her.
It does. Somebody leaps up from behind the bed or something. I remember this now.
Too late now, Tony. I've been using that word. Chick.
Yeah.
I've been using the word chick not just for 3 years, Darren. I've been using it my whole freaking life.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and I mean, come on. It's like,
it's whatever. I'm not going to change for
I mean, I can
You
understand.
get offended. I don't give a fuck.
I can understand if somebody, if a woman was like, "Oh, don't call me that." I hate it when you can't say, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Don't call me guy. It's like, oh,
Don't
come
call me
on.
that.
You know what I mean when I say, "Hey guys, what's going on?" I don't mean like, hey people with penises. That's not what I mean. And I hear women saying, "Hey guys, what's going on?" all the time. So it's like, come on, let's not
Dave, you're not using
overdo
the
it.
proper pronouns.
Oh, stop. Can we all just pretend it's 99 again?
I'll settle for 2010. Shit. We don't have to go that far back.
It's true. It actually is true. Yeah, somebody leaps up from behind the bed. But I can't remember if I think it cuts to black. And we don't know what, or am I just, yeah. That's right. But it turns out to be big. Why would she? But why would she even go? If
I know,
you
would
you would
know.
Yeah, you would know you're cut.
It's whatever.
Yeah, that's a good ending though. Look at that self-awareness. Yes, she
I was
did.
gonna say, did she just fourth wall us?
She fourth walled us. Yes, she did. And look at the little wink from the.
That's good. I mean, it's self-aware. It knows not to take itself seriously.
100%. 100%. And that's it, folks. 1986's April Fool's Day. Great movie. It's a great movie. And you know what? It's one I do not have in my physical media collection that I would like to get for my physical media collection.
I have it. I think a cassette was really hard to find back then, other than like at the video store to rent it.
Yeah, no, totally. That was great. I love that little fourth wall break there. Let's go over and I bet you I'm gonna fucking lose the super chats here. And I didn't. Wow, great. They stuck around this time. David Coe sends in a $9.99 super chat. Thanks, David Coe. Says, better movie, Shawshank Redemption or Halloween 5? Just kidding. Just curious, how old were you guys when you went with Dave and Tony instead of David and Anthony? Well, I think for me, it was just a natural thing. I think when I was very young.
Is your birth name David or
yes,
Dave?
Yes,
okay.
It's David. Yeah. Well, Dave is, I don't even think you can call somebody Dave if you want to, but Dave is the short form for David. So the actual name is David. Even if you were to, on your birth certificate says Dave, really it does come from that. It's not really a separate name per se, because it's a biblical name, right? David.
Yes, it is. Very big biblical name.
Very big. So it's like John. But I would say that, on my birth certificate, it says David Scott McRae. That's my name. And I think when you're younger, when you're in school, obviously teachers call you David and David, and your mom or dad, David, when you're very young, you know what I mean? But I think as you get older, I think it's just, I don't think there was ever a conscious choice. I think it's just almost a natural sort of organic, as you get older, I don't know. People started calling me, friends started calling me Dave instead of David, and it just kind of stuck. And then I was like, hey, what's your name? My name's Dave, or you know what I mean? Just kind of became Dave. But I don't think anybody calls me David.
I couldn't call you David.
Yeah. Even my mom,
it would feel weird.
My parents, as I got older, I don't think my parents did. I mean, my mother would sometimes say, "Oh, David, you're such a caution," which just simply means like I'm a ham or whatever. You know what I mean? My mom would sometimes say David, but no, nobody calls me David. Funny enough, though, my signature, I signed David McRae. I've always signed it David McRae.
Well, your license would say David McRae, right?
My license, my wallet's not here. My license probably does say that. Yeah, I think it does. My credit cards say it. My health card says it. My passport says it. Obviously, yeah, because it's an official government ID. So
Yeah.
it has to be David. But no, I don't think there was a moment. I mean, I certainly like, there wasn't a moment for me. I guess I'm trying to say is it's not like I hit 10. I was like, I don't like David. I want to be called Dave. No, there was never that moment. I mean, it just kind of organically happened that way. What about you?
Same. It was around 5th grade when friends of mine started to call me Tony. And it stuck. But the irony of that is like my family, like my father and my father's side of the family refused. Like they just, no, it was Anthony. None of them called me Tony. My father still calls me Anthony to this day. My mom, she'll flip-flop back and forth between Tony and Anthony. My brother's Tony. My sister will call me Tony.
Right.
And that really started right around, I'd say about the 5th grade. And it was because of my friends. They just the ones who started calling me it. And it just, I rolled with it. And
it just stuck.
Yeah. Anthony, Anthony really, I only use for my business and for clients. It's more just professional. It's clean. But as I get to know my clients, they call me Tony. They don't even call me Anthony. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's just like as I build that rapport and whatnot, because usually that ends up coming up. Believe it or not, about usually like around like the 3rd month in of doing client work with a new client, they're like, "Do you ever prefer Anthony or Tony?" I'm like, "Tony." I'm like, "Well, okay, we'll call you Tony." You know, and
there you go.
That's it. But yeah, it's just like you. It was natural. It was organic. And
Yep. That's how it was for me.
Yeah. I think with most people who can have a shortened name like you and me, it tends to happen like that. It's usually through grade school. It's a normal thing. You know, it's not like I want to be called Tony. Damn it, don't call me. It's just,
it wasn't like that for me either. It wasn't like that for me either. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Let me see here. Harry Hagen, my man, sends in a $5 super chat and says, being half black, I was shooken when I discovered what the original title of my favorite book, And Then There Were None, is. Yes, that's right. For those of you that don't know, of course, Agatha Christie, the famous novelist who's obviously been long dead for many years. You cannot say that. Probably. I cannot say it, but I can say that it was, Google it, but I can certainly say it. Well, I can say it like this, 10 little N-words. Let's just say that. And that was, pretty, when I discovered that too, it was like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? It was like, holy snap.
I would have liked to have been in the room that day going, you think this is really a good idea? You know
but let's not forget, right?
Of course, I know times are different back then. I get it, but still.
Yes, that's right.
Still, I would have been in the room and been like, really?
The book was
really going to go down this road?
The book was 1930. I think it was early to late 30s or something like that. It was yes. I mean, obviously, it's and then it was changed. It was changed. It also has gone by 10 Little Indians as well. And then, of course, it's more commonly known today as And Then There Were None. And it's a great book, the title aside. It's a great book, a great story. Sort of one of the originators of the whodunits. And it's been parodied and remade, and there's been several films of it, and it's really cool. But yes, Harry's right. I mean, it was when I found that out, I think I was... I was a teenager, because my mother was a big Agatha Christie fan. And I remember she told me that. And I was like, no. And this is before the internet, of course, right? So I'm like, no, not right before. But essentially, I was probably 16, which is 95. Nobody had the internet then. I mean, the internet existed, but I'm talking about in commonplace, everyday kind of thing, And I remember going, no, are you serious? Like, yeah, that's what it was. And of course, if you do your history and you read up on it, you understand, but you understand why it was called that, and, and sort of what was going on at that time and how people were against it. But then people were, it's a whole thing. Like you gotta read up on sort of the history of that title. But yes, it can become shocking to those who don't realize that 10 Little Indians or 10 Little... And Then There Were None was actually there was actually a very controversial title prior to that.
The most controversial word you can say.
100%.
There really is. I don't think there is a word out there that can surpass that word. Like, I know women get upset about the C word, but whatever, you can get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The C word is what it is.
Well, 10 little. That'd be a pretty bad title too, but
the C word is not as hard.
No. I get it.
Word. Like,
Totally get it.
There's nothing.
Yep. Totally understand.
Of words that should be erased from all history. That should be one fucking word.
Yep, 100%. That definitely should be one that nobody should say. And
Ever.
I'm sort of of the mindset, you know, that I don't think anybody should. I don't care if you're black or white, or I think we should just not say it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I think it's better that way. I think you should be able to teach it in terms of teach about, like, you know, again, context matters, right? Like, I think it's good that we don't erase history. I think it's good that we understand what the word is and
how it was being used, its emotional impact and effect. Absolutely. I think that's important. And I think that I don't think we should erase that. But having said that, I don't think anybody should use it, you know, regardless of what your, you know, ethnicity or culture is. I think it should be like, we just shouldn't use that. You know what I mean? Just everybody, let's just not use it. So yeah, I mean, crazy, isn't it? Crazy for those of you that didn't know that. Yep. Crazy shit, man.
That's pretty crazy. Let me see here. And thank you, Harry, by the way, for mentioning that, man. I mean, yeah, pretty crazy shit. Pretty crazy shit. Danielle sends in a $5 super chat and says, "Hey, Dave, Tony, Shawshank was voted by my son's UCLA, great school, by the way, UCLA film program class as most overrated film ever. Well, I have no hope for the future of film then. If these are the future filmmakers,
filmmakers. Yeah, really, I have zero hope for the future of filmmakers.
The most overrated film ever? Yeah. Well, I think I need to go down to UCLA and I think I need to find out who the fuck is in that class.
Keep in mind, this is the generation that likes to eat Tide Pods. So, so you know what we're dealing with right now.
That is true. That's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't think that most voted overrated film ever. No.
Anyway,
that seems so absurd. I mean, I can understand people watching going, yeah, it was okay. It was all right. But I mean, but again, right, there's it's the most overrated. Like, is this really how they feel? Because they're probably still quite young. So they probably haven't seen every movie on the planet. So, or is this just like how, you know, today's younger generation tends to rate everything either a 10 out of 10 or 0. And if I was to say something was an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, which is a fantastic mark for a movie, by the way, okay, somehow people think that I'm saying it's garbage. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's the most, is it really that they think it's overrated, or is that just their way of saying, yeah, it was okay? You know what I mean? I don't know. But Danny, I do not agree with your son's class. Tommy Ricknell, but thank you, Danny, for the super chat. Really appreciate that, man. Tommy Ricknell sends in 20 euros. Thank you, Tommy. And he says, as a Swede, I can confirm that movies from the 80s were so heavily cut from all violence and gore, even whole scenes, to a point where the story made absolutely no sense. Haven't seen this one, though, so can't confirm to 100%. Well,
that's why everything's so peaceful over there, huh?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of the gratuitous films, especially, you know, the exploitation, not that this is an exploitation film, it's not, but certainly films from the 70s, when you get into the exploitation horror and things like that, a lot of movies weren't even shown over there. And they would, you know, whether it's Europe, the UK, you know, well, that is part of Europe, but I just mean in terms of over there were a lot of films that didn't show. They either went to straight to video or I mean, if it was around then at that time, yeah, because different, you know, places around the world have different levels of acceptance in terms of what ratings are. Ratings can differ a bit and what is socially accepted, and you know, so that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, and yeah, it's that's why it's so cool to be able to see. Like, I mean, I understand censoring stuff for age groups. Like, you know, yeah, I get all that, but I never think, in my humble opinion, that a streaming service, if you're going to play Gone with the Wind, you play Gone with the Wind. If you're going to play, you know, if you're going to play Splash with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah's ass is showing, too bad. You play Splash with, I mean, this is art. And that doesn't mean that there isn't certain art that you may want to throw up a disclaimer. Okay, knock yourselves out, do it. But don't fucking touch the movie. Because treat people like they're adults and allow them to make up their own minds, and you let them see how it was intended. It may not seem like a big deal to the average person, and I'm not trying to sound conspiratorial. That's not what I'm saying. But these types of things can be insidious, right? You change
not the
things,
movie, folks.
Not the movie Insidious, but you change things like that. And okay, it's editing Daryl Hannah's ass today, but what is it 15 years from now? Sure. You know, and that as an artist, that worries me. And I'm not saying that every art is acceptable for every age group or every, yes, people are more sensitive than others. There are age groups you don't want seeing certain things. It's always been that way. I understand that, but I do not think we should edit and remove the art. Not at all. Not at all. I think that's so important. No, you don't do that. Treat people, people are, although people are dumb, but I mean,
I was going to say,
hopefully people are dumb, but I don't mean anybody here in the chat. I'm just saying in a general sense, people are kind of dumb. So I get it, but it's so important that we don't want to, we can't.
Dude, they're changing.
It sounds like I'm talking.
There's a
can't erase history.
There's a school. Not shitting you when I say this.
Okay.
There's a high school in Oregon that's changing their mascot because they're afraid that it's something trees and it's something has to do with the trees. Which, if you've ever been to Oregon, it's beautiful out there. It's like
I haven't, but I hear it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. So not surprising that's it. Whatever the name of this mascot is, look it up, folks. You'll see the article. But
there's a mascot to a school.
It's the school name. It's their whatever. Something has to do with trees or evergreen or something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Like a high school or?
Yes, it's high school.
Okay.
They're changing it because they're afraid. Oh my God.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
This is the level of stupidity we're going now with this shit.
Here it comes.
That they may have used some of these trees for lynching. So they're going to how do you know this? I mean, they're afraid they're changing the name of their school because they're afraid that the trees were used for lynching. I'm like, well, the freaking ground that they were running on was used for lynching. Are we going to remove the ground? Where does this end with this shit? And how do you know it was that specific tree? This is where we're going with our stupidity now. Yeah.
I don't even have anything to say to that.
Yeah.
It's so...
Major League Baseball wants to cancel the All-Star game on us here, but they want me to get a vaccination I show an ID, but not an ID for when I vote. Okay. That's the logic I'm dealing with.
I can't.
I'm still pissed off about the All-Star game, man. I lost a fucking $7,000 job that I was going to be doing for that weekend here.
Sucks, dude.
That's we're not talking it was one of my first big events coming off of fucking COVID.
Yes.
And I was amped up for this shit. It was a video and photography event. It was a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And then when fucking this shit happened and then MLB pulled out on us, I was like, fuck you assholes.
I'm sorry to hear.
You want me to get a shot so I have an identification card that says I get a shot, but you don't want me to have proper ID for when I go vote. All right, I got you. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a big job. That's a big job. Yeah, that's not like we're talking chump change. You know what I mean?
That's a big job.
And it's not like I'm going to be able to replace it with something else. You know what I mean?
That's a big job. David Coe sends in a $4.99 super chat and says, can either of you think of a movie you really like, but at the same time, never want to see again? For me, it's The Revenant.
I'd
watch The Revenant again. No problem. I saw The Revenant in the theater. I'd watch that again. A movie I really like, but I have no interest in seeing again.
I was looking through my movie archives.
That's a good question.
Let me see here. Because there is
really like,
some.
but I couldn't care less. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's a bunch. Actually, I have no doubt that there's probably a bunch that I've seen. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I couldn't care less if I ever saw it again.
I can't think of one off the top of my head either, but I'm looking through my movie archives because I think there is one that I have that I'm like, I'm never gonna watch it again. It was all right. It was good, but right. I got you. Where is it? No, I'm gonna watch all these again.
Right.
Halloween 1978. No, I'm kidding.
Halloween 1978.
I'm never gonna watch that again.
That's
ever.
a great question. I don't know. That's a really good question,
It
my
is.
man.
It's a good one because
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Because chances are, if it's good and I enjoy it, I'm probably going to revisit it at some point in my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Great question, but I'm not sure. We'll have to think about that. Maybe circle back around. Jeff Harris sends in a $9.99 super chat and says,
"Are you pulling a Jen Psaki circling back?
circling back. That's right.
You becoming the circle back girl?
That's right. Jeff Harris says, I finally watched Kong vs. Zilla Saturday and I really loved it. I haven't seen your review yet, Dave, but where do you guys think the story could go? Glad the film is doing well during the pandemic. Well,
I've seen it 4 times.
4 times. Wow. I haven't seen it 4 times. I've only seen it once. Here's my general consensus. So I really liked Godzilla vs. Kong. Really liked it a lot. I thought it was a big, fun sort of ride. It was great. However, having said that, I still prefer King of the Monsters. And the reason I prefer King of the Monsters is not because I'm a Godzilla fan, and that's his movie and all that. It's because I really like the apocalyptic, biblical, end of days, darker tone. I mean, it had those types of fluffy, characters. Yeah. But I really love King Ghidorah and the symbolism in that movie and the darkness, the end of days, apocalyptic sort of feel to that film. I love King of the Monsters. Now, when I say I love King of the Monsters, I'm not saying I love it the way I love Shawshank Redemption. It's not like it's an incredible piece of cinematic history. I'm just mean that in its space, in its wheelhouse, I thought it was great fun. And I much preferred it over Godzilla 2014 because I thought they evened it out then. They had crappy characters, but then they gave us more of the monsters. You know what I mean?
No, I got it. That's why I like Kong. I like Kong right. Skull Island, same reason. It's the tone. Yeah. It's that 70s orangey tealy tone.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
So I totally get where you're going with King of the Monsters.
When it comes to Godzilla versus Kong, really liked it. Thought it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. My girlfriend and I watched it. We got a screener, was able to watch it a couple days before it released. We sat home in my home theater. We watched it, had the big surround sound on and the big screen. It was great. Had a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But the tone in this movie is more video game, Universal Studios ride, which isn't wrong. It's not wrong. It's just different. It's a different tone. It's more, it was taking more creative liberties. There was a little more ham and cheese. Good sandwich, by the way, like I said in my little thoughts on my video. But there's a little more ham, a little more cheese. Things are slowly progressing a little more. Things are getting a bit hammier and a bit cheesier, and the laws of physics are starting. Not that they've ever been really concrete in any of these movies, but they're really starting to kind of not care about it. And it's like, I'm the first to say that, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're there seeing these big titans and that's what matters. True. But that doesn't mean that you can remove all sense of cohesion anywhere. So, I thought the characters were actually less interesting in Godzilla versus Kong than they were in King of the Monsters. I prefer the villain.
What's her name? Kaylee, who did the signing. She was really good.
She's great. She's great.
She danced
I'm talking
circles
more
around everybody.
She did. I'm talking more about the story, right? And
like 11 with her buddies. Yeah,
I didn't care. And the Kong story to Center Earth was interesting because it was more interesting.
Do you know about the Hollow Earth conspiracy theories out there?
Yes. Yeah. I know about some of them. So I do. I get it. But at the same time, when you go back to Gareth Edwards' Godzilla from 2014, and it's like, and I talked about this on my video. Now, I'm not a big fan I don't hate the movie. I don't hate it. It's not Halloween 5. But it's fine. It's fine for what it is. But my thoughts on it. I've talked about my thoughts on it. But the one thing that Godzilla, if you watch those teaser trailers for the 2014 Godzilla, they are some of the best teaser trailers I've ever seen. The tone that the trailer sets for Godzilla 2014 is serious, like not hokey, cheesy, deep impact Armageddon shit. We're talking about more in line with Gerard Butler's Greenland, the film I just saw yesterday. Like serious, like the tone of that movie or the tone of the teasers. Now the movie wasn't quite like that. It was more than where we are with Godzilla versus Kong. But the tone of those teasers, like I like that tone because I'm imagining these mythic Titan creature beings walking the earth. I want to see the weight of them when they move and the heaviness and the darkness and the, you know, and King Ghidorah on the volcano and this. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Holy shit. Godzilla versus Kong is more and it's like, it's fun, but it's very different tone. So I liked it a lot, but for a different reason. And I'll just end by saying this. I hope, and then we'll get to your thing, but I hope that if they continue the MonsterVerse on, they don't progressively start to get more hammier and cheesier and video game. And now all of a sudden we're just kind of remaking 60s, 70s Toho cheese. Like I understand there was a lot of cheese in the Godzilla movies from the 60s and the 70s, but that doesn't mean we have to go there. Like I understand that they had alien beings, humanoids turning into cockroaches in some of the alien, but I still think we should keep this serious kind of tone. And with Godzilla versus Kong, it's like, whoa, we got Godzilla breathing his nuclear fire into the crust of the earth. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. You know, we got like these spaceships all of a sudden that are like flying to the, you know, center earth. And then you see this whimsical world that it actually feels strange to see Kong in that world because Kong doesn't come from that world. So it kind of feels weird to see him in this whimsical center earth world. And I don't know. It's a fun movie. I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. Popcorn, you know, a lot of fun. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. Really liked it. It's my second favorite in the MonsterVerse. But I can't say all that without saying I hope this is as far as they go with self-aware, you know, hamminess. Like I think we should still keep, you know, I think we should still keep this tone here. Like, I mean, this is fucking like, it's why I wasn't like when Godzilla kind of smiles in the movie, you know, he does that kind of that grin a little bit. It's like, whoa, let's not, like, I understand why Adam Wingard did it. I don't know if you know this, but Toho had strict rules with how they handle Godzilla. You can do this, you can do this, you can't do this, this, and this. Because according to Toho, he is a force of nature. He's a being. It's why I've had to explain to this one guy who comments on the channel a couple of times where he says, I hate that they made Godzilla a hero. Maybe you're watching after the fact, because Godzilla's a boring hero. But what people have to understand is that Godzilla is only a hero in the eyes of the humans. Godzilla doesn't care about the humans. He's not thinking about them. He doesn't care about us any more than we care about ants on an anthill. Godzilla is defending Earth because he's alpha. He's defending his territory from these other creatures. He's not, and a byproduct in doing that is humans get to live, right? We happen to reap the benefits of this creature who has no interest in us. But at the end of the day, if he really cared about the humans, he wouldn't be breathing fire, killing thousands of people all over the place. He's not thinking in that way. We're only seeing him from the human perspective, right? He's like doing what a cat would do or what a lion would do in the jungle. He's defending his territory. And the little creatures and bugs on the floor of the jungle reap the benefit of that, I guess. And we're them. You know what I mean? And that's sort of what you have to keep in mind there, right? So Toho knows that. He's a force of nature. He's not thinking that way, right? Which is cool. I love that. It's fucking amazing. Kong's different. Kong can think that way because he's a primate. You can reason with Kong to a degree. So yes, Kong would be a better hero in that sense because you could connect with him emotionally because he's a primate. He's more human, right? We share 98% of the DNA. So he can have sign, and that sign language shit is real stuff. Apes and monkeys can actually do that. So I understand why you might want Kong. He's a better hero in that sense. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's important that I set that up because I did like the movie. I just hope they don't go too far, too cheese, you know? Tony, what about you?
Seen it 4 times, loved every second of it. And now we've got an out for Kong with Hollow Earth, and I want to see more of that down there. That was the one thing I wanted to see, like what was the exit strategy? Now we don't need to do New York. We don't need to revisit that same story that we've seen with Kong in 2 other films. We said this a few weeks ago on Kong Skull Island.
Yes, it was.
What would we do? And I said, it all depends on what the setup is for
Right.
Godzilla versus Kong and what I get from that.
Right.
Now we have that setup. I thought that was really smart. You know, the Hollow Earth, my brothers, like him and my uncle, they get in like deep conversations about the Hollow Earth shit, like deep. So I'm very familiar with it because like
Right.
that's all they're into that shit.
Right.
So when they brought that into here, I thought that was clever because it gave us an out for Kong to tell more stories. What's going to happen down there? What are some of the other creatures? Some of the things that Kong may have to face while living in this new area that he's now adapted as his home. But no, I freaking loved it, man. I've seen it, like I said,
I did too. I did too. Like, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. I just realized, oh, it's, you know, I can see it, right? Like you can see the tone shifting. And it's like, well, the next movie we have, like, I have no reason to believe. Well, I think
maybe this was more of like the safe play. I knew
it was.
I kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew either Kong was going to win the fight and then Godzilla was going to be the hero, or Godzilla was going to win the fight and then Kong was going to be the hero.
But here's the thing.
They were going to satisfy everybody.
They were. But here's the thing that I didn't like about how they handled Kong. Because I love Kong. Even though I'm Team Godzilla, I love Kong. Who doesn't like King Kong? Fuck, it's King Kong. But here's what I didn't like about it. Now, first of all, Godzilla had to win. And the reason why Godzilla had to win is because he's a nuclear fire-breathing dragon, essentially. That's not just fire coming out of his mouth. It is radioactive atomic breath.
Serious bad breath.
Yes, exactly. Godzilla is indestructible. Now, when you go, and they come from different, it really is a Batman v Superman thing, as I've said many times on my own videos. It really is. It's fun to put them together, but they don't coexist in each other's worlds. I mean, yes, and let's not forget the 1962 film, they had to have Kong resurrected by lightning and have like Emperor Palpatine powers in order to compete with Godzilla. You have to change Kong's character to get him to compete with Godzilla,
Kong ever.
You don't have to change anything. So it's not, and I would say the same thing if the roles were reversed. I would be saying hey, why is Godzilla winning? It doesn't make any sense. When you look at it objectively and you look at the who Godzilla is, he had to win. Now, obviously he didn't have to. The writers could have changed it, but it makes sense that he would win. He's Godzilla. He's Superman in this world. Now, having said that, so did Godzilla win? Yes, he won the fight, and quite convincingly. He won the fight between Kong and Godzilla. Great. But it was great. It was a great back and forth. Kong looked great. Doing this fuck. I loved it. It was great. Having said that, I wish they gave Kong his due. I don't think they did. And what I mean by that is, yes, he got Godzilla out of trouble, right? Godzilla was in some trouble. Like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, shit, Godzilla's in trouble. Kong comes in. He's the hero. He's like, oh, fuck it. All right, yeah, Kong. Woo! Yes.
Well,
Loved it, right? But no, wait. But here's the thing.
Him in the situation too because I don't think Kong really wanted to fight.
He didn't. But here's the thing, though. Well, yes, because the humans knew we need Godzilla. You know, he's the protector of the whatever. Even though he doesn't really care, and it's not that Godzilla doesn't care about the humans in the sense that he hates the human. He's just not like how we don't care about ants on an anthill. We don't care.
Well, it's like
we don't
you
not
hit it
care.
on the nail. He's not like Kong, where Kong is more of a primate. He's pretty much human. He's learning how to speak to humans.
Exactly.
That's legit. Like,
so yes, in reality, Kong would make a better hero to connect with the audience. Sure. Yes, absolutely. But anyway, I've said all that. So, but here's the thing I don't like. And I didn't mind it when I was watching it. But now in retrospect, I'm like, hang on a sec here. Okay, so Kong comes in, helps Godzilla out. That's great. They tear Mechagodzilla apart. Okay. But then it's like, but in reality, that fucking kid is the one that poured the liquid over the computer that rendered Mechagodzilla incapacitated, and then Kong chops him up.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't like that. Because the real hero then is that kid. Because once Mechagodzilla was rendered, useless, well, Godzilla didn't need Kong then. Godzilla could have taken care of him. And that's not the way it should have been. It should have been the direct actions and the direct choices of Godzilla and Kong that took Mechagodzilla out at Mechagodzilla's peak, right? And Godzilla breathes fire onto the axe, and then Kong takes him out at his peak, right? Yeah. He no help from the humans at all. So although Kong did chop Mechagodzilla up, he chopped Mechagodzilla up when Mechagodzilla was essentially shut down. And it's like, I don't like that. I think they should have, yes, they gave Kong his due, they did, but I think they should have gone one further and allowed Kong to chop Mechagodzilla up when he got the, whatever it was, right? But so that's the only thing I was kind of like, I I don't know.
Yeah, my only complaint was the first fight in the water with them. I thought that was bad storytelling because you're putting Kong already at a disadvantage. He can't swim. He's
That's
us.
true.
If we get pulled underwater, we're gonna drown.
Yep.
Not only that, you got the fucker chained up too. So you're
Yep.
really putting it like you're telling me from your narrative storytelling
Yep.
that you want to have Kong chained up,
Yeah.
staring down as Godzilla's approaching him and knock him into the water, which could force him to possibly drown. I thought I really was hoping that maybe their first meeting would have been on Skull Island.
I got
That's where their first confrontation would
Yeah.
have been on land. Because like you said, I mean, Kong was pretty much the underdog.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the underdog, and you made him even that much more of an underdog.
Yeah.
But other than that,
See, here's what. Sorry, I just want to say, Barry Kicksass says Canadian bacon isn't as good as American bacon, but it's all right. It's not American. It's just bacon.
It's just bacon.
It's up here.
pigs.
We don't call bacon American bacon. It's bacon. I don't know
Comes
why
from
we
the same
call.
ass. Pig
Yes,
ass.
I can go into any grocery store anywhere in Canada and buy thousands of packages of the bacon that you eat, Barry. And really, it's the only bacon I can buy in the grocery store. I don't see Canadian ham. That's what it is. Bacon anywhere. I don't see it anywhere. I sometimes see it on a menu at a restaurant for breakfast. Do you want bacon or Canadian bacon? I'm like, well, essentially, do you want bacon or ham? I'll take bacon. You know what I mean? So I'm just busting your balls, Barry. I know what you mean, but I find it funny though. I just because and the reason why, because some Americans, not necessarily you guys, but some Americans think that we don't get bacon up here. We it's Canadian bacon. That's the only bacon they have in Canada. That's why they call it Canadian bacon. It's their version of bacon. No, it's not our version of bacon. Canadian bacon is not Canada's version of bacon. Okay, it's not. We get all the bacon you get. If I order a BLT at a restaurant, they're going to give it to me with regular bacon, 100%. Anyway.
Hey, we
That's all
get
I
French
have to say
fries
about
from France.
Oh, here we go. But here's what I got to say about a sequel idea. Now that the Center Earth is there, I mean, you can't ignore it. It's there.
There's a lot you can do with that.
There's a lot you could do. Here's the thing, though. Do you then go off and tell another? Because this really was a Kong movie. I mean, Godzilla was in it, but it was very Kong-centric. Very Kong-centric, I thought. So what do? Do you go off and then tell a Kong story at Center Earth? Or I would actually love to see, like, does Kong then become the ruler and king of the underworld, we'll call it, and Godzilla is the ruler and king of the, above ground world?
You gotta have Kong have a foe down there that he doesn't know.
You do, or an out of planet threat that is coming, like maybe King Ghidorah. Maybe there's more of his cronies that are coming or whatever, and they start, like, it's all out war between monsters in the underground and the above ground and the fucking wherever and everybody. It's just all out, and Kong and Godzilla got to team together again and fucking save the planet. Maybe something like that.
I will say the other character that was really just useless that I wish they would have done more was the Mega Skull Crawlers. We got one scene.
Yeah.
And it was a throwaway scene because basically Mecha Godzilla just fucking shreds that skull crawler to fucking pieces in seconds. I'm like,
yes.
Well, okay, that's like, that. I would have liked to maybe seen the Mega Skull Crawler go up against Godzilla. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
whatever.
Well, and there's Godzilla villains that I want to see. I've seen King Ghidorah. I've seen Rodan. That's great. I want to see Gigan. I want to see Megalon. Jet Jaguar. See, that's the thing. I don't know about Jet Jaguar, because if you introduce Jet Jaguar, things might get even fucking cheesier. I'm just going to say that. But Gigan and Megalon, I definitely want to see. There's so many more things you can do. I just don't want it to. I don't want to look at Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then fast forward 10 years to the 8th movie, and it's like not even remotely resembles in tone what those first two movies did. I don't want to get so cheesy.
No, I get it, because you look at Kong Skull Island and this one with Kong. Which is the second,
see, that's what I'm saying.
It's a night and day different with tonality of how Kong was in the tone of that film versus to this film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, the girl really, I mean, you could have just had her in it, because everybody that was surrounding her couldn't fucking act if their life depended on it.
Yeah.
And I like that woman, who I like her in other stuff.
Yep.
But the young girl, Kaylee Hoddle, I think is her name, who's deaf in real, like legit. She's legit a deaf actress in real life.
Yes, she is. I was just going to say that. I think I heard that.
Her performance, like, there was little subtle things that like a close friend of mine, his parents are deaf, and I've always seen him doing the sign language thing. So like, I knew, like, this, like with the K, meant like be careful.
Yep.
But the fact that she emphasized it, like those little things, like I was like, that was a smart choice. Like she could have played it safe and done like the simple signs that people were to understand. But she really got into her character, and this is a girl who's never heard, and she's playing off of nothing in front of her.
That's right.
And she sold her emotions. Like
she did. She was great. She was fantastic.
11 and her 2 goofballs, I could have done without.
Oh, it was a shit story. Like, that's what I mean.
Really could have done without them.
It felt like 11 and her dad were only in this movie to make you realize, oh, by the way,
Godzilla.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, it's a sequel to King of the Monsters. And I would have brought back, I always forget his name now, Dance something. What the fuck's his name? The villain from King of the Monsters. I would have brought him back. Now, maybe he didn't want to be in it. I don't know, but they didn't write a story with him in it. The villains are getting more eccentric. Like, I don't want, like, in 2 or 3 movies from now, the main baddie to be a guy going, ooh, hello, Godzilla. Like it's the Joker or something. I think we need to go down and get Kong to come up here.
Like the Apex guy. Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
Apex guy.
Well, that's what I mean. He wasn't like that. But I could see a scenario where because it happens unconsciously. Like before you know it, you're making the 10th movie and you got some crazy scientist going, I'm going to take over the planet and there's nothing Godzilla can do.
Kong versus Godzilla, outer space.
Yeah, like it's like, let's not like
Kong's gonna be wearing a spacesuit.
No. There's gotta be some level of believability somewhere. You know, like I don't want to
honestly, this is the way I would do it is
there's a lot of it now, but I mean
I would give Kong one more movie in Hollow Earth, and then I would find a way to unite Kong and Godzilla one more time, and that's it. That's all I would do.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that.
You give Kong 2 solo films, and then Kong because I don't think you really want to put Kong in with the other monsters that Godzilla has faced, unless it's a threatening monster that Godzilla can't hold on his own, and maybe he's getting double teamed, and then Kong comes in to help Godzilla. Right. Like that would be the last. That's how I would use Kong. Yep. You know, I don't think you need more than that. No, I agree. You said the monsters that you listed off with Godzilla. Yep. I mean, you've got a lot there to work with. So.
Yep, I agree. I just now that and again, I really liked Godzilla vs. Kong. I did. I did. I really did. I thought it was a wild ride. It was a lot of fun. But I just hope this is that movie is as video game as we get. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that we kind of just, if you want to keep that tone, okay, we keep that tone. That's the threshold. And every movie from here on out is like that. Okay, all right. I just don't want it to get progressively more hammy and cheesy. That's my concern. But great question though, man. And there's so many different things you could do with ideas and stuff. Okay, let's see if we can get through these here. I gotta go. Blood Red Sky sends in a $5 super chat. Says Godzilla vs. Kong felt like I was watching Sharknado CGI chaos. Horror director Adam Wingard directed it. Do you think Michael Bay should have done it? Maybe? Well, no. I disagree with you. I don't think it was Sharknado.
They looked good.
Yeah, I thought they looked fantastic. Yes, there was a lot of heavy effects in it. But
I'd hate to be the cleaning crew in fucking Tokyo or Hong Kong, wherever they fought.
Hong Kong,
they
China,
fucked that place up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did.
They did. It up.
They did. Yeah. They did, and for sure. Sweet Tea, the tea is sweet today. Sends in $10 super chat. Thank you, Sweet Tea, and just says, for the channel, my friends, be safe, my friends. You too, Sweet Tea. You too, stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, as Jerry Springer would say. Big Bopper. Hello, baby. I was going to say ladies. Hello, baby. Chantilly lace with a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down and a wiggle. And
that was like his only hit.
Pretty much.
I never understood why he was on that tour with Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, Dion, and the Belmonts.
That was a big hit. It was a big hit. I don't know.
One song while the rest of them got like 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah. Big Bopper sends in $2 and says, you hear the new Star Wars series, The Bad Batch? Nope. No idea what you're talking about. There's a new Star Wars series called The Bad Batch. I have not heard of it, Big Bopper. I've not heard of it.
So checked out on Star Wars, man. I can tell you what the hell's going on in that thing.
Nick sends in $10 super chat. Says, Dave, do you think that Will Smith had something to do with Freddy becoming less scary due to his huge, cheesy A Nightmare on My Street song? I remember that song. It was great.
I remember that song.
That he was sued for coming out months before Nightmare 4. No, I don't think Will Smith has anything to do with Freddy Krueger becoming cheesy at all. Nothing whatsoever.
Speaking of Nightmare 4, man, I know Dave's seen the girl. I'm about to do a Nightmare 4 photo shoot, and I got me a really good redhead, man. She's got a lot of similar Alice features, but what she really's got is the outfit, like down to a T in the
Right.
fight scene. But my Freddy will be from part 1.
Right.
I had toyed with the idea of doing the costume as Freddy from 4, but I'm like, nah. I get so many compliments on that original sweater, and people message me like, don't ever go back. Like, you keep doing the original sweater.
Right.
I like that look of Freddy. I like the original old classic look. So it's going to be a bit of a hybrid shoot. And the church we're shooting in, it's not quite the Gothic-y style church.
Right.
But it's an old Southern creepy ass church, and it's definitely going to have a nice mood and, as Dave would say, atmosphere.
Yes.
To the shoot. But the girl, I was so finally happy to find a freaking redhead, because I've been wanting to do that fight sequence between Alice and Freddy for a really long time, and I just couldn't find the right girl, but I finally found it. And I just got my taser. I got a real taser.
Amazing. Holy shit.
I got a real taser for this thing. I'm gonna
you're going all out. You're going all out.
Absolutely. Balls in, man.
100%. Let's see here. So we'll go 5 more minutes. Zach Axiola sends in says, Dave, do you think Halloween Kills has the potential to fix the issues you had with 2018, such as lack of atmosphere? I thought you've asked this before. Maybe somebody else asked this. Do I think it has the... Yes, I do. Do I think it's going to be a great Halloween film? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's going to be bloodier and gorier and a lot more kills. I know that, but I mean, that's not a spoiler. We all know that. But I know
think we all hope to enjoy it.
Yeah, we hope to enjoy it. I hope they utilize some of the things that make Halloween Halloween. I'm not expecting it to be a carbon copy of the original with its slow. No, I understand where we are. It's not lost to me. I understand the era we're in. I understand the target demographic. I understand what they got to do. I get it. I actually expect to enjoy this more. Yeah, maybe. The one thing, if you're going to have a lot of kills, okay, but you got to have suspense. You can't, if you want to have Michael, I just hope that if this movie comes out and it's gory and it's bloody and there's a lot of kills, okay, that's great. And that's going to satisfy probably the vast majority of people. But if all those kills are void of any sort of suspense or lead up, then it's, I don't really know. And who knows? I might watch it and go, yeah, I liked it better. That was more fun. I had a good time. I had a fun time watching it, but it felt very Friday the 13th. That's something that may be there too, right? I don't know. Haven't seen it yet, but that is something that, maybe. And to some that might be like, yes, who knows? But I give everything its due. I'm looking forward to it. It ain't easy making movies. It ain't easy.
It's not. And it's hard to please everybody.
It's hard to please everybody, and I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to see it. But yes, I do hope I see more atmosphere and suspense. Yes, for sure, 100%. Because there was very little of that in the last one. Let me see.
And Mike, I am going to do a Halloween 4 shoot with Jamie in the clown costume, but I'm going to do this mask right behind me. I'm not going to do the George P. Wilbur mask from 4. It's going to be the what if. What if we had, like we've always said that on this show, what if the mask was just more in line to like what they did in the original film? How would that have changed Halloween 4? So I'm going to play off of that since I have the freedom. I have the luxury and freedom to do that.
Yep.
I can put any girl in the clown costume, and I can have one of my buddies throw on the Myers mask and give us that in a photo shoot.
Right.
So I'm going to go that road when I do Halloween 4. I just haven't found a pickup truck yet. I'm looking for an 80s style pickup truck to use, because I want to create the truck scene. I want to do that because I got the road for it.
Are you going to hire, so somebody's going to play Rachel and somebody will play?
I have a girl who's going to do Rachel. Her outfit's done. She's done. Like the girl,
Perfect.
And I've got the Jamie, and the Jamie's outfit's done. I just need the stupid freaking pickup truck.
Oh, you got to be able to find one around there, I'm sure.
You would think, but not when I tell people the idea, they're like, well, I'm like, the truck's not going to be moving. I'm going to create the motion in post.
Right.
Nobody's going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's the getting on top and,
right.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
That's a lot to ask somebody to have a body on the top of the roof of someone's truck. I get it.
I get it.
Damn,
I think what you need to do is you need to find a big Halloween 4 fan who has a pickup truck, an 80s pickup truck.
And doesn't care.
And
it's like, yeah, dude, do it.
Yeah, you fucking do it, man.
Do it, buddy. Do it. Hell yeah.
Let's fucking do it, man. Come on, go get my truck right now. Hey, Ethel, go get that fucking truck I got in the garage, will you? Woo! Let's watch some Halloween 4, Tony. Come on in, man. You want a beer?
much.
Get those.
That's the country, man.
That's what he sounds like.
Come on in, Tony. You gonna
Come
fucking
on
use my
in,
truck
buddy.
or what? Yo, can I be in it? Can I be one of those fat guys that shot Ted Hollister?
Absolutely. In fact,
Ted Hollister, I think, isn't it?
You can shoot Michael down. What did he fall in? A landmine or fucking cemetery thing or whatever
like
it was?
a
a shaft.
like a well, like a
Well or whatever.
mine shaft or a whatever. It was,
I don't think
yeah.
I can do that. But if I can also
No,
do the
no,
rooftop scene, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know how I could do the rooftop, but that would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be
Yeah.
cool. Let's see. Oh, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Michael Myers says, Dave and Tony, would you rather play the villain or the hero? I would. Well, it depends on the script, depends on the story, but villains are always fun to play.
Villains, yeah. Like
Villains
the
are always
hero is
fun.
like, yeah, no, people always remember the villain.
People always dress up as the villain, very rarely the hero.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not entirely true, but yeah, it depends, right? It depends on how. It depends on the story. It depends on the show. All right, folks, that is gonna do it for Tony and I here on episode 106 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. April Fool's Day was the movie. Comment below and let us know your thoughts on the movie. Let us know,
Hey, we got
ladies
the
and
special
gentlemen.
next week, don't we?
We have a special, that's right, next Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Frank the Tank Riker will be on the show. Finally, we'll be watching Psycho 2, one of the best horror sequels out there for sure. In relation to their original, and of course Frank, of course, will be on the show because he bought the Two Dudes perk during the It's Me Billy Indiegogo campaign. So we're starting to fulfill that perk at the very least. That's something we can do. We'll start to do that, and Frank is going to be our first guest next Monday night, which should be exciting. Tony, any last things you want to say here?
No, great show. I'm glad those who turned out for April Fools did. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, Dave and I, we love talking Michael, we love talking Freddy, Jason, and the core horror guys, but we want to get into these other movies that are out there because I think there's a lot of great horror films that maybe some of you've never even heard of.
That's right.
And would appreciate and enjoy like Dave and I have.
Yep,
100%. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah, for sure, man. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to our moderators, of course, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, and Chris Baber. And thank you guys for sending in the super chats, the non-super chats. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. We love you guys tuning in and watching us each and every week in our crazy antics and shenanigans. And it's fun. It's always fun. Woo! Okay, anyway, that's it. Talk to you guys soon. Alrighty. Cheers.